Finding Nemo, released in the year 2003. Who among you could form less than 10 but more than one memory in the year 2003? The boys are almost ready to go. So many sliders to control all of this. We got another complicated setup today. Hi everyone, I'm Chris, Vangelus on the internet. Let me say hello to all of you names I saw in the chat window box. I see T-Fanpage 101, I see Assison, Akikon, I see Adamas Prime who's not here and went to sleep, Flame-War05, Vanisher, Custom Media Creations, Alpha Magnus, Brian, Chris Muse, D Rice Raid Fanfics YouTube, JT Elm, Chicken Soup, Podvoisky, Ilker Sunmez, and Akan Lord. Hello to you all. I also saw Axsmith in there, but I think that I'm gonna cast a spell. Axsmith, now you're in here.
Hi.
Uh-oh, you're super loud. Hang on, let me turn you down. Okay, say that again.
Hi.
There you go.
Is that better?
Yep, I just turned desktop audio up to like 00 like I usually do, because I constantly forget that that's also the guest call thing. It's so funny, because I make this point to people all the time, right? That when you're hosting and running all the tech, you're basically being 2.5 people, and then I like pare things down so I don't have to run everything. But then the moment I get someone on, it's like there's no way to pare that down, You just got to be 2.5 people. So, Aaron, thanks for being my other half person to make us a trio today.
Yeah, it's normally how it goes.
Hell
I've had
yeah.
to shepherd you at enough conventions.
2003! That's when me and Aaron first properly met, in my recollection. I think we went over this. I still can't remember if we actually encountered one another in 02.
I'm sure we probably did, but it would have been like a hi and about it.
Yeah.
Because we were both still babies and introverts.
In 2000, I only met Tony Bacala. And in 2001, I only met Tony Bacala and then one other guy who I can't remember anymore, who I don't think has been in the fandom for like 20 years. And then in 02, it's a blank, and in 03 was TF Gen 3 bowling, when I met lots of people, and that was the first time I met lots and lots of people. But 02 is sort of like this enigma in my social memory. We also got Axmith posting in the chat. I am not but a disembodied voice. Yeah, we got. I don't know how. TJ knew how to set up the little Fugi thing where you have a little glowing face that does stuff. That was a thing. TJ just gave me a URL to insert as an element, and it worked.
Okay.
So I go be friends with VTubers, and I guess they tell you how to do that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We got someone who says they were in high school, Form 3 in 2003. I don't know what Form 3 is. Is that an American thing?
No, that'd be like an England thing, or maybe some Jedi posing. I don't know. May the 5th was a few days ago.
Oh, right, and it was like revenge. Oh yeah, happy Revenge of the 7th to all of you. You got to put Sith and 7th together. It works. They both have TH in them. Chris Muser refused to believe that Chris Vangelus is ever a true introvert. Well, you know what? Believe it. I still kind of am when I don't know anyone in the room. Year 3. Oh, okay. Thank you, Brian. I in Canada, we just had... I didn't even have middle school where I grew up. We simply had K7 and 8-12, and that was primary school and secondary school, and that was it. So I don't understand freshmen. I don't understand juniors, seniors, really. I had two levels, and they were two different places. I was about to say, hey, Aaron, did you ever go to school? What a segue.
Nope. No, never.
Oh.
Not K through 6, then middle school of 7 and 8, and then high school of all the rest.
That's why middle school is so horrendous to my psyche, because when I learned about it being like 2 to 3 years, and then you leave a school all over again, so you have to do that, you have to leave a school twice, in K-12, that is bonkers to me.
Yeah, I mean, I know that there were some other schools, even in Indiana, that make middle school 3 or 4 years, so it may be like K to 4, and then 5 to 8, and then like 9 to 12 or whatever, but it's all just probably like, you know, how many kids are there, how many buildings do you have, what does that calculus end up being?
Yeah.
And then you have them take calculus in one of those buildings, maybe.
By the way, everybody, now that we've conversed a bit, how are the volume levels between me and Aaron? Ideally, it looks mathematically okay on my meters, but I never really know how that translates to y'all. I'm kind of having a bit of guesswork. It's perfect? Okay. In the meters, Aaron borders on too loud, but the meters also are not an even gradient. If y'all have ever worked with audio meters, the bit that's important is a lot smaller than a whole lot of the space next to it that is always full, for the most part. Meters. Let's all have a drink. Well, Aaron, I got us all set up here with the next news item that we had to cover. For those who don't know, let me lay out the structure of this. This is our third one. And now Aaron's just the regular on this because this is way more fun, because this is literally when me and Aaron like basically first properly met. So we are co-pilots on this existential journey through news from over 2 decades ago that we were there for on this website that we're looking at.
Yeah.
So I wanted to start with I found the earliest news page on TFW, and it was in early 2003. So my idea was I'm going to do a stream where we go through the news of 2003, and the next stream maybe the news of 2004. Turns out that even in '03, there was a friggin' ton of Transformers news. An unbelievable amount, more than I remember there being in 2003. I thought there was less pre-07. Turns out I was wrong. So every time that we don't look at this stream for a day, by the way, our bookmark moves. Because the way TFW works is every time a new news page is added, all of the older ones get incremented up by one. So it kind of works in backwards math. It makes it sometimes a little difficult to remember where we were. But I found it. It's also an indicator of the current state of this feature. Right now, I'm trying to glide past pre-orders. I'm trying to glide past Hard Hero statue news. And I'm trying to glide past, like, kind of repetitive things because most of the images and links don't work. Because TFW 2005 had a massive server database meltdown in '05. So we've had entire interesting news items that say, click for more. There is no more. So, for example, if you look at this news item, this is Commemorative Series 5 Hoist, the American reissue of G1 Hoist, comes with a surprise. Luckily, it's described in text here because Devil's Ed fan did some due diligence, so the surprise was that this reissue came with the Japanese file card and chrome missiles. Good news for collectors and fans. But this is like an eBay link, right? Now, if I open this eBay link, I gotta get this ready again. So if I open links, I'm not doing them in the browser because we are also experiencing link rot. Aaron, can you describe for everyone what link rot is? By the way, the link doesn't work.
Yeah. I checked them earlier when I knew where we were. Yeah, link rot is fun of the fact that there's 20 some odd years of links out there, and even with something that's been around as long and as strong as eBay, there's no need to have a 22-year-old auction link live because that costs money. And so just every now and then, they all just go away.
And not just eBay links.
We will have some, what was it? We found Amazon Japan is good at keeping things live. But, plenty of places will just either, the website just no longer exists. You click on them and it's now some landing page for a bunch of drug scam stuff.
We got that toy guy in the chat with beans, by the way. But yeah, there are links to pages that I don't remember that in 21 years ago were a known news source. Mm-hmm. And so it's not even just that links are 404ing. There is a non-0% chance, sub 10% I think, but still non-zero, that I open a link and just awaken a decades dormant Trojan virus or something. So
yeah, what was the one that really surprised us? I know that Trans Fandom was gone.
Trans Fandom was gone. The Remy Rotus TF KenCon stuff was all linked to some site that now redirects to T-Formers. That was a big one that I thought was still there, because I know Remy and TF KenCon are kind of still around, I think. But yeah, like Remy and TF KenCon were a huge news source. Old Snack-S website also is gone.
Oh, yeah.
And so a lot of Japanese news items in this link to pages that are just gone, that redirect. Anything that had a gallery on TFW pre-05 especially, gone. Mm-hmm. We had some things saying, check out these video clips. They were links to .avi files that were hosted on TFW. No longer. They are, in fact, probably lost media, unless like whoever was at BotCon 03 still has those video files. If you do,
and hopefully those haven't died to disk rot.
Yeah, that too. Chris Kickback, I think you were there. I don't remember if Tony was actually recording anything back then. This was the Chris Kickback era of interacting with Hasbro a lot. It could have been him. Could have been Rick Alvarez who took some of the videos. I don't know. If anyone out there has them, because they gone. We looked a little bit, at least. We tried the easiest solutions, and none of it worked. Because this is before YouTube existed. Please bear that in mind as well. There was no video hosting platform on a public global level. Everything was like on TFW, it was just like, stick it on the site hard drive, and then that site hard drive exploded in '05. So, yeah, like custom media, like you're saying, the only way it would be gone is if the footage was corrupted. It could also be on an SD card on a camera that was wiped after they uploaded it to TFW because they figured, why would we ever need to save this? You know, like, so many... We're like, uncovering brand new lost media. Also, Carito was saying that, you know, some folks don't know that Amazon, HobbyLink Japan, and Big Bad Toy Store, and Entertainment Earth, and Super 7 all predate YouTube by years. So... just kind of getting you all buckled up and ready for some of the existential hoo-has that we're about to hit.
Yeah, we've got, according to Wikipedia, YouTube was launched February 14 of 2005. So we got like a year and a half of pages before we can even get to the beginning of YouTube, Charlie Bit My Finger.
And no one was even, like, no one in Transformers, as far as I know, laid a finger on YouTube Transformers related, especially newsworthy, until like 06, 07 at the earliest. So get ready for it. Anthony Durand, where can I find your OG? It's someone say something because it's covered by the heart. Hang on, I got another chat window. Maybe this will show me. Oh, your OG Generations War for Cybertron Prime review. I don't know if I did one. I can't remember. Oh, wait. I might have done one on Blip. If it was on Blip, then it's gone with Blip. I heard someone backed up a lot of that stuff. I don't know where it is. But I've got to remaster those, because I did Omega Supreme, and those videos need a lot more than me pushing export again. They're actually really messed up when I open them in an NLE now. So I gotta go back and dig that one out of a hard drive, unfortunately. If I put it on YouTube ever, it should just be there, but I think the War for Cybertron stuff that wasn't Vengsta's Axe was only on Blip. Anyway, Blip is like a whole other level of, like, oh my god, so long ago, and that's like less than 10 years ago. Anyway, so yeah, Hoist, turns out Hoist had the Japanese file card and chrome missiles. I think I remember the chrome missiles being a big thing because we had some reissues with silver-painted ones, and I think even then I was like, I don't know how we
had
care.
one that was just plastic. I think they were, like...
Or just plastic?
Weren't they?
Maybe. There's so many of reissues now, it's like hard to remember. Yeah. Yeah.
Those were the thin paperboard Toys R Us reissues.
Yes, on the red packaging.
The first few of those I remember being like minimum viable product style.
Yeah. And then also we were on wave 5 by the time we hit August 2003. So this is when we were all getting like kind of taking them as granted, if I remember right. So I was just getting my windows in arranged so I can see most of everything. Boy, do I wish I had a second monitor. I never needed one until I started doing streams with like 4 separate windows I need to see at the same time.
I have 2 monitors in my garage that aren't being used. Do you want me to just pull one of those up to TFCon too?
Yeah, I mean, I should take a look and make sure I have an input for them. I assume I do. This is a pre-built gamer PC, because...
Oh, I'm sure it does.
Dry heave. It's Republic of Gamers, for those of you who are on the ROG train. Anyway, let's move on from here. Reissue news is also something I'm kind of glazing over, unless it's really, like, stark. Oh god, here's some... Update on the TF CD-ROM promos. So this is when we had CD-ROMs included with the original TF Universe line that had promos on them. So this is when we were first finding these things. Galvatron and Jetfire were the promos. Just gonna click out of curiosity. Nope, nothing here. That thread is gone. But that's interesting. Do you remember? I remember those CD-ROM things. I can't remember if we talked about it that much back then. Because that was mostly Universe stateside, right? That had the CD-ROMs.
Yeah.
Oh, someone's asking, when was TFW launched? In 1999, technically. Technically. It originally was a sub-forum on a different website, and then it became its own forum, and then it became part of Transfandom by becoming the 2005boards.com, and then that split up to form the current TFW2005.com. It's technically existed since 1999, basically. So it predates the current century. Think about it. Why is it called
And yet-
2005? Because of the Transformers movie.
Yes, the
It is the year
1986
2005.
movie takes place in 2005.
It is the year 2005.
And when 2005 hit, it was Zomg.
Yeah, but we were all like, "Where's our white jumpsuits?" But no,
Yeah.
but like back then, things like 1984 and 2005, I think, had way more crunch and impact as far as like a thing that you'd go like, "Yeah, man!" Like when you see it on the internet.
Mhm.
Now it's kind of like 2005. Oh, right, that was like 19 years ago. Oh, here we go. Look at this. Repro labels also existed back then. Thanks go out to Delta for the heads up. Delta is now offering pre-cut faction stickers at his website. No need for scissors. They're cut for you. So the debut of Repro labels pre-cut faction symbols was August 1st, 2003. I did not know that. I kind of thought those were around longer.
Yeah, I think I remember the earliest stuff was none of it was cut.
No, it was all like even the repros of like factory sheets was
Yeah.
just a scan on sticker paper and you had to cut it.
Yep, you had to cut it yourself, and I think that's why this was because they're factions. They're the most basic thing that they'll make the most of.
Yeah.
Let's try pre-cutting.
Yeah, like, and bear in mind, in 03, this is kind of predating things like, I'm pretty sure this predates what we currently would call the cry-cut machine, I think. As far as, like, something easily accessible, at least.
Yeah.
Um,
It's anything like consumer grade.
yeah, like, industry might have had some of that stuff. I don't know if Repro Labels was an industry tier operation back then. I don't actually remember when they stepped up to become, like, the operation they are now. Pod Voice Key's mind is melting. Are there any historical beefs between news outlets? Yes.
Oh.
That was the entire fandom discourse at times in the aughts before 07.
Yeah, if you go back, so a thing that broke me early WTF at TFW was various reviews on iTunes or whatever. And if you go and you look at some of those early reviews, it was pretty clear that there were that the beefs even went into there from at least the listeners as they were, and that I had a hard time picking up the whole never read the comments bit.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
that was like your introduction to it, wasn't it? Because you
A
were
little
just,
bit,
you were just like
yeah.
you were front page news, but it's like I didn't make any of this.
Yeah, I was front page news. Y'all idiots can say whatever you want in the thread. I found the thing. Have at.
Yeah. Yeah, like back then, I will leave this vague, and I'd like to leave it vague, but back then, when TFW's podcast started, at least one other website's podcast started, and I think had higher aspirations for what a podcast would be worth. Because that was common in the aughts, to think a podcast was going to be your next big thing. But I believe that was, like, sort of on the level of where some of the weird reviews we got very early on came from. People were like, what on earth were they beefing about? Exactly. Who got news first? Who's got Hasbro connections? Orson's World, which we talked about a lot, we will talk about more, when Aaron Archer started posting on TFW to shut down some crank who said that Armada was going to have a matrix that turns into a robot. That became a whole thing because some websites were calling Hasbro and saying it's not fair that a Hasbro guy is posting on this website, sending them traffic. Remember, in the 2000s, website clicks and traffic meant infinitely more than they do now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now we think of clicks and traffic in, like, you know, the millions on videos specifically. But back in the aughts, you could make a fair dollar by making people click through to, like, click a news item to see the images from the news item, or more importantly, a big thing that we went through in the last stream, TFW uploading millions of screen caps from Transformers episodes, because that's what people wanted to click on back then, so they could make, like, signature photos or whatever, and that was huge business back then on the internet. So yeah, that's where some of them beefs. Also, just simple, everyone, like, not everyone, a lot of people in the Transformers fandom in the aughts were at best maybe 40, maybe. Lots of people in their 20s running everything, which meant lots of people who are adults, but only recently. So, you know, I mean, I know we got people in the chat who are like that, so I don't mean this as a hard derogatory, but you can imagine, like, an entire internet full of people who are kind of running everything because the internet's still new enough, and they're all fiery college students who want to have fistfights, and also toxic masculinity everywhere because it's the aughts. We're all watching sweaty orange people on summer blockbusters, and we're finding in-packaged photos of the eHobbies exclusive Holler and Sunstorm. Y'all think Holler and Sunstorm have been around for a million years? This was their debut in August, in summer 03. There were 40-year-olds on the internet in the aughts. Because there are 60-year-olds on the internet now. That's what I'll say. We're also skipping over the Armada schedules because I think we bled that stone as hard as we could, and then they kept still having more Armada episode schedule announcements. This is what Transformers news looked like when television was still the primary way of watching things, by the way. We'd get news items like Armada's schedule for August 16th on Cartoon Network.
Yeah, because you didn't want to go out and buy the $10 TV guidebook every week.
Exactly.
At your grocery store.
And you couldn't rely on it, It could be messed up. We got someone in the chat who was born. I wasn't sure how much this would happen. We have someone in the chat saying they were born in 05. So we once again have someone in the chat who literally did not exist when this news was happening. This is not very common yet. And I keep wondering if that'll happen. So that's wild.
So I have a knee brace on right now because while taking a shower yesterday, I turned wrong.
Well,
and then my knee
don't do that.
My knee made a feeling that was not a good feeling. And so now I have on a knee brace because I moved.
Well, we got folks in the chat who won't have to worry about that for a little while.
Yeah.
It is kind of fascinating, though, because, especially if you were born in the aughts, right? It's not impossible to kind of just assume YouTube was there to host video, Also, yeah, like Corrito Prime said, happy 19, have fun, stay cool, be one of the cool ones, as they say. Oh, hello, McDonald's Happy Meal Transformers Armada toys in Finland. Thanks go out to Taganagar, if people remember who that is. That's, I believe, someone related to a lot of the old fan dubs, I think. I might be getting that wrong. But this... Oh, NTFA forum. So we did discover the NTFA forum still exists, if I remember right.
This page still exists.
Was that the page that, was actually still updated?
It's still there. As I clicked on it, the most recent thing is from May 16, 2018.
Right. We found this before, because it was
because of the GDPR things that are taking place with the law, and yeah, considering installing a new version of software that's GDPR compliant.
And I just thought it was wild this was still here
now,
because this looks like an aughts website. You can't see it on my window right now. I got to drag this over, but where's my alt button? The funny little font on the left here. That's a very aughts thing to my brain. Yeah, that's wild. That was a whole thing. You can check out those other streams, by the way. They are worth it. I don't know how to chapter mark those things, really. I might try by month, maybe. But we found out that in Finland, Transformers Armada's McDonald's toys were launching in August. They're only getting 4 of the figures, so I guess they couldn't make Big Robot and Big Vehicle. But apparently they have different names, too. Optimus Prime is Pomobili, Boss Car. Red Alert is Punainen Hysli, Red Alarm. Starscream is Shinkurotaya, He Who Reaches the Stars. And Cyclonus is Pyr, Vortex. So one of those was right. He Who Reaches the Stars is a pretty metal name. If you want to see, by the way, these Armada toys, because I've been editing an edit of the stream, me and TJ, who's also on the TFW podcast, did a stream ranking those Armada McDonald's toys back in April.
Now, did you rank the ones from Finland or not?
I am assuming Finland got ours, given this news item, but I ranked the American ones, and the Japanese variant of Hotshot, and then we also ranked the Megabot and the Mega Vehicle. as a little bonus treat. Chris means sharing this VOD with my Finnish friend later. Listen, my pronunciation, I'm doing my best because Tony Bakala in August 2003 didn't see fit to like really write the names out all that well. I'm pretty sure there are some umlauts missing. But that does that page. So let's go back one more. It's a limited edition Road Assault team released in Japan. Yeah, there's another thing that we're kind of glazing over is there are a billion limited edition Minicon teams coming out in Japan, and we have no photos of any of them. So
do me a favor. I think a news story hit whilst we were started. Hit next page because there's.
Damn it! You're right.
Yeah.
News! Stop!
More recent load than you do.
Stop.
Packaging variant at the top.
Packaging variant, we have no photos, but... Oh, I remember this. This was Minicons repackaged with Unicron Battles cards, with the orange ID cards. I remember that repackage thing, and this was in range of Baby Aaron chasing repackaged variants, right?
This is dead in the middle of Baby Aaron chasing packaging variants and all the variants, because that's what the cool kids did.
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah.
Do you remember if you got these?
I think I still have some part of these sealed.
Damn.
In fact, because this was about the height of it. Because there were, I'm trying to remember, of the Minicons, I think that there were like 4 different variations on the packaging through that time frame.
Yeah.
There were at least 3. I think 4. Because I think each of them had a like included sticker that was in like the second half of releases.
Yeah. If you all think mold completionist Aaron was something, that was a massive step down from 2000s, early 2000s Aaron. Aaron used to run with packaging variant completionists in the Indiana area, and it was wild.
Yeah.
Don't do that, by the way.
Don't. Don't. If my earlier talk about a Diaclone that you may have heard on the most recent and upcoming WTF TFW episodes is a thing, packaging variants, especially still in college, Aaron, package variant hunting, very, very bad. Very, very, very bad.
Yeah. I don't even know if we talked about it much on the original years of the podcast, because I think you were already like maneuvering out of that into like a really eager, quote unquote, healthy approach of I'll just get one of every mold rather than that toy guy saying I was 5 years old when all this news came out, and not the only person to mention Bionicle the Mask of Light did come out in 2003, and I didn't see it because I didn't pay attention to Bionicle ever, except when people started telling me about it in the last decade. So I will apologize up front. I got no real like Bionicle tidbits to drop, but if you got some, drop them in the text chat if you'd like. I don't think Aaron really has any Bionicle talk either. I'm not sure if Aaron was Lego coded enough to be hard Bionicle in the aughts.
I've got the original Bionicle release set in their canisters. Again, somewhere in the house.
All right, so Aaron was Aaron is perhaps primed and ready if anyone out there wants to run a Bionicle history stream.
No, that was still, I was young enough that it was that I thought they were cool because it was a different type of Lego build, and I got all of those.
Do you know how much those are worth?
And I went those. Yeah, I do. That's kind of why it's one of the things that there's a 4-bay garage that's 3/4 full of bins that need gone through.
I have had Bionicle.
Some of that stuff is going to go because it was only completed in the last year. It was just before the pandemic when we got them at an estate sale for basically retail.
I was shown a lot of Bionicle aftermarket off and on in the last couple years, and I don't even have regrets because like I would have had to be dead like waist deep into Bionicle over Transformers, I think, at the time. But that stuff's wild. I know that toy guy is in the chat, so I'll just say lime green ball socket joints. That's That's an activation word for some Bionicle fans. Aaron, do you know about lime green ball socket joints?
They're probably not strong.
They all crumble to dust. They are Lego's version of GPS, is what I was told. There we go. We got a couple people yelling lime green in there. Okay, that's the thing. That's the thing I was taught, was if I want to make Bionicle fans start twitching and having flashbacks to the war, I say lime green ball socket joints. Poor lime green boy's crumbling next to me. Wheelcheck 64. The aftermarket is that bad, dog. Type the word Bionicles, go sold, and sort by high to low. And you in fact, don't go sold and sort by high to low first, so you can have, like, the first heart attack, and then go look at the sold ones. And, and yeah, the red-brown Lego bricks. I think, Aaron, you might have told me about those?
Yeah, red-brown, there is about the worst. There's another one that is also bad. They have gold. They had gold with, like, the flake in it. That is prone to just the same GPS. Then they went to, like, a light gold varnish, and they also have a smooth gold varnish.
I also want to just throw
There's something
some
else in there, but I can't remember.
I want to throw some pricing pain out to everyone. Oh, for crying out loud, what's going on here? I'm trying to. Why is there a weird border going on with this? Here we go. It's on my end. You guys are probably not seeing
I
it.
was gonna say you slid the side for the.
There's an OBS side border that's throwing my brain off. I am going to shrink this down a little bit so that I can get this to compress
Wave sign. I think
properly.
I think that there's a blue Lego shade that was. It wasn't like twist breaky, but it was compression breaky.
There we go. All right. Now I can squish this a bit more and get this TFW sized. I keep using this same scene for everything with browser windows. So, like, when I did my expert demolition of the TF1 trailer, that was also in this OBS scene. So it's a little bonkers. I guess I could make other scenes, but why would I do that? I'm just a casual user. Look at that. Walmart rolling back Armada items. Max cons going from... What? Never mind. Aaron, look at those numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. Leaders.
No, but the rollback. Look at the rollback.
Yeah.
Why is this being reported? Tim Formas!
Save 94 cents, baby.
Why are they... I mean, Walmart still rolls stuff back like this sometimes, so I guess this is proof they've always done it, right? So I was going to say, look at those prices! But now I'm really distracted by the rollbacks. The sub $1 rollbacks! Anyway, Micron Legend update. TransformersDVD.com is now live. Is it still live?
No.
It is exploring the best online math Nope, not going to let that stay open. Don't go there.
If you want help with your elementary school math levels, you can do that. We're not sure what elementary that is, but
it's TransformersDVD.com. Why did Hasbro not buy it back and just sit on it? But this was the official DVD site from Metrodome, because this was Metrodome distribution. I think this is when they were getting hyped up for the UK release of G1, which I think we touched on during this before. Those DVD sets that turned out to be kind of different from the Rhino sets. I think kind of better, if I remember right. But I also am just assuming Rhino's the worst.
I forget which way that is, because Rhino... Well, the first Rhino one was the worst.
Yeah.
And then, because there was one that had the best audio, one that had the best visuals, except for it didn't have any of the, like, light shining through stuff. And then one that had all the light shining through stuff right, but it was in the middle of the visuals.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've ever gotten, like, a definitive the best of all of them.
Yeah, I have this conversation once every, like, 4 years and then forget all of it within about a month.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at, like, remembering the various different masters that are out there, which is bad because we are entering lost media territory on some of that stuff now. Also, I'm just realizing that my mouse cursor is visible on the screen. You see that there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I drew a dick with it while Aaron was talking.
You need to have like massive trails on it or something.
No, I wanted to see if anyone would notice. Oh, hello. This is Orson's World. Orson's World update, August 5th. Posted by Galvarez. Okay, Aaron, who wants to be Aaron Archer first?
I'll lead off as Aaron Archer since I'm Aaron. I just gotta get my neck loose, get my shoulders loose. Okay.
Yep, you got an all caps coming up right here. So
Yep, I see.
By the way, just so everyone knows, we have the
yes.
canon. We have the canon. Aaron Archer has been on this stream in the chat saying I didn't imply yelling, I implied emphasis, but it's funnier if it's yelling. So we're just so you all know the editorialization that is happening here. Thanks to Orson for updating his forum today by answering a ton of questions from the fans. Orson clarified a few things about Japanese exclusives, Transformers alternators, and 20th Anniversary Prime. Click read more. We did. King Atlas or King Atlus? Just wondering if you could please clear up that spelling issue.
Atlas.
Over the past coming 20 years... What? Oh, okay. Over the past coming 20 years, so we're not yet in a 20-year-old franchise, we've all seen the Ark inside and out, along with the Nemesis, topped with Beast Wars, Axelon, and Darkseid, but we've never really seen any kind of toy or anything of them. I'm not saying we need huge-scale playsets of them, but... Has the possibility of doing a little line of ships and stuff ever come into the collective mind at Hasbro? I mean, I think it would be hella cool with a K to see the Ark, Nemesis, etc. done up the same way as your Star Wars Action Fleet line.
Way ahead of you. I think that's like a winking with a mouth open.
I think he was trying to sign his post.
Oh, I could see that too. But then there's an extra period. I don't know.
What's he talking about?
I don't know what it would have been in 2003, 2004.
Okay, Wavesign says maybe it was Vague posting about Titanium because they had the little ships. Because I was trying to remember when Autobot Axelon came out, but that's a billion years away because Sharkticon doesn't even exist yet. So it must have been Titaniums. I forgot Titaniums did the ships. But that was only like 2 ships, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and they weren't even like the transforming Titaniums. They were just like the little 3-inch.
The ones in the supremely wasteful packaging.
Yeah.
So a little nostalgia for everyone. We are in the heart of Transformers having just an environmental wasteland version of packaging. Just layers and layers of funny-shaped, oval-shaped, egg-shaped plastic and curves everywhere.
Which make it real nice for if you're ever trying to pack anything up or move everything. It all just fits together so poorly.
I remember back then, especially with Cybertron, I remember there were news items, or at least news chatter, that like retailers were actually starting to get kind of mad with Transformers. Because they were like, we don't know how to put any... Like Armada, for instance, with all the weird sideways cylinder bubbles. And they were like, we don't know how to put any of this on a shelf. It keeps falling over itself.
Well, that and those packages for being on cards were wide as well.
Yeah, they were like
tall. So
yeah.
like changed the way that store like layouts were. I remember that discussion at a BotCon, I think, where there were, because when they went to vertical cards, they were like, yeah, retailers wanted that. So,
yeah. It was like they wanted vertical cards, and then like focus testing said package them as robots eventually. That's a decade away from what we're talking about now. Anyway, next question. Hey Orson, I've been reading this board for a while and hadn't seen this asked. I was just curious if when you guys are designing the Transformers, do you do anything on the computer in 3D before physical prototypes are made?
1% of the time.
How?
Which I'm sure stays. That's
Transformers 99% not digital back in 03. This I believe was before the hard permeation of CAD throughout the industry.
Yeah, 2003. So like I had CAD courses in the late 90s, and that could do like 2.5 dimensions. Okay. You could do some 3D modeling stuff and like in not VFX style software, but I don't know if you would have had any like inbuilt kinematic style stuff. You might have started getting it at this point, but it would have been super niche.
This is why fan 3D animation, by the way, was like mind-blowing in the early 2000s. And that's not even CAD, that's just animation. But yet, like, watching models transform at all, right? It was bonkers. Credo Prime says, yes, the 0.5 dimension.
Yeah.
Adam Billman,
you know what I mean, Credo, and if you don't know, say something and I can explain what the half dimension is. But,
Adam Billman with, it's unfortunate that we never found out who Orson was. Forever a mystery. Yeah. Flamewar05 reminded me those mini titaniums also would just shed paint into your hands because they were such a friggin' disaster product.
It was a lump of die cast that then's painted at arm's length with a bad spray nozzle.
And I don't think any priming. I think they just
stuff.
They were just like, let's top coat it till it stops sliding off.
Yep.
All right, next question. You said that anything plastic was available for Universe and diecast was for G1. We never got any toys from Beast Wars 2 and Beast Wars Neo aside from one of the Dinobots as a Walmart exclusive, and also some in Beast Machines, so that's more than one. So will we be able to get some of the Japanese Beast Wars toys issued here domestically? The molds seem relatively new and quote-unquote available since Takara used them.
Most of the animal they did are not what we are looking for. Giraffe, rabbit, penguin, horse. Universe isn't just new toys to the U.S., but a reintroduction of cool toys that will drive kids' sales as well as collector sales. I'm doing my best to walk the middle road, Orson.
Well, looking at OTFCC photos, it appears that the super bright red and blue paint actually detracts from all the glorious detail you've endeavored to pack into the toy, and frankly makes him look less like the $75 masterpiece that he is, and more like another quasi-simplistic child's plaything. What's that mean? Was the OFTCC sample just a fly-by-night one-off? Or does this prototype represent what we can actually expect in terms of the finished product? While I can't speak for everyone, I personally feel that the toy should be a bit more muted, as to avoid obscuring all the intensive labor that has obviously been poured into this figure. Perhaps slightly duller matte paints, rather than the retina-popping primary color gloss ones we've seen, which I think was the 20th anniversary Optimus, by the way.
Look here, you little no, sorry. We are following an animation color theme. There will be more metallic in the paint, but I do not think it will be muted or dull. Oh.
What a quasi-simplistic child's plaything.
Yeah.
I want someone...
Children playing with my toys? God damn it.
I want someone to lay out for me in granular detail what quasi-simplistic means. Especially when you stare at MPO1 while you say it. All right. Next question. Will the Alternators line have more than one size class of toy? With Alternators being a G1 Redux line and 2 members already revealed to be G1 characters... ... Will they be resizing updated tech specs or reusing the old ones?
No plan for story or tech specs currently. Since they are out of normal continuity, we have not decided on how to handle them. I think of them as Ultimate Universe kind of thing. Sorry, Orson.
Custom Media Creations, I believe, saying quasi-simplistic would mean quasi-complicated. I didn't think about it that way, but if I have my English right...
Yeah. Guy didn't want to write Play School, says Wave Sign. Yes.
Yeah.
Because they would have. They would have.
He wanted to come off more intelligent to the guy from Hasbro, and instead just sounded like he was high on 03 drugs. Next question. E-Hobby has done a wonderful service to Transformers fans by making new characters using old molds. I know I love it, ellipses. Unfortunately, importing them can be expensive, and the Takara molds, while exactly like the originals, are more fragile than the Hasbro versions. Is there any chance of us getting new characters like Clampdown, Deep Cover, Sunstorm, etc. here in the US, even as an online exclusive? Or should I just continue to import?
No. If they are exclusives in Japan, we will not do them here. We are working on our own items. MTC. Oh.
That's more to come, for those who don't know. Thanks to Orson for taking the time out of his day to answer fan questions. Keep up the good work. Word. I forgot how much the site had people who would just start saying word because Tony put it into most of his tracks. Oh, but yeah, here's some more classics. Them Funny Robots. Have you been reading? From Chris Kickback. If you're not familiar with the 2005 boards, then you probably don't realize that the very popular Them Funny Robots weekly strip is updated every Sunday and occasionally throughout the week. So this was Seth Buzzard, formerly Buzzbeak, who had a photo comic. I think that we found some old ones last time.
Yes, so Them Funny Robots, the links don't work anymore, but I think he re-uploaded all of them in the Transformers Funnies community page.
Yeah.
And then somewhere in there, I think if you sort like backwards by age,
it's a different again. It's a different subforum now. A Ken Lord, it's in quasi-simplistic is in between pro-simplistic and meso-simplistic. True. Podvoisky, was Aaron Archer a TF reporter and not working at Hasbro? No, he was the first Hasbro person to just start posting on the fandom message boards under a pseudonym, but it took less than a year for the reveal to be he was Aaron Archer. He just never... he always went by Orson on the boards for the sake of staying under Hasbro Corporate's radar. Sort of. Hasbro Corporate kind of knew and didn't care, as long as he didn't say, I'm Aaron Archer, because then it was plausible deniability. So it was it's a hard thing to describe in a year where 4 of the Transformers team members have active Instagram accounts where they answer questions in the comments. That's very new.
And share other behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yeah.
And images.
Is highly new, actually. But so this is the complete opposite era. This is when, like, speaking to Hasbro was like the Wizard of Oz manifesting on your wall, basically. Oh, speaking of 2000s era internet, more new wallpapers making the front page because you'd click on them to download them. Oh, molding variations on the recently released Armada Unicron. That thread won't exist. Aaron, did you ever chase down multiple Unicrons for variants?
In the United States of America, the Fifth Amendment states that I do not have to.
Oh, no!
I think I had one packaging variant.
I thought the pause was because you were trying to remember. That was all, but I thought that was all.
No, I think I got the one packaging variant, and then ended up selling it. I think on Andy Rue Butt Cancer times.
Oh yeah.
I still have my open one, and I know that I had the Energon one. That one got sold. I think I had one other one that also got sold.
Yeah, I forgot you unearthed a lot of stuff during Andy Rue Butt Cancer days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was like going into a cavernous garage of sorts.
Yeah.
That toy guy is saying you adore how the new team keep up on Instagram. Yeah, that's a huge change, and I will say this many times because there's no proof, but people who are on the Zoom calls know. That was very likely because we kept bringing it up on the lockdown era Zoom calls of the early 2020s. How much we'd love to just see them posting about what they do without it being promo necessarily.
Yeah.
And that we understand there's a line they have to walk. So they're obviously on Instagram, like it's mostly new stuff, but that was very much because of a bunch of us hammering on that during those Zoom calls. I'm almost certain. I'll never make a big deal of it as far as picking a fight with a Hasbro, but pretty sure. What? An eBay reveal of Armada-themed tennis shoes.
All the links are rotted.
Well, someday we'll find. I'm sure you can easily Google search it. I don't care. I'm gonna move on from this. All right, want to go to Wizard World Chicago with Styling Online? You got to time travel to August 6, 2003, and he posted his phone number on the front page?
We should call James and see if he still has that phone number.
I'm not gonna, but if he does, he should probably be aware it's still on the front. I mean, if it's been sitting there for 21 years, it's not our problem. I don't have to censor this. It's not my problem anymore. Don't call the number.
You call that there's just a red phone with a light on a desk somewhere.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
no.
don't... Listen,
It's happened.
I'm talking about what happens if I click an old website that might have, like, something weird living in it. You call an old phone number from 21 years ago, the FBI might just erupt through your ceiling, okay? Like, you don't know where that phone number's been, you know? Chris used the word docs didn't exist back then. Correct. That's when you go on Usenet and post your address and say, someone come on over here, pick a fight with me. Oh, Adam Billmu tried. Okay. Oh, okay. I thought that's where the message ended. The FBI doesn't
exist.
Chris Muse, what if it links to a number station? Yeah, you don't want to friggin' make the back rooms open a portal in your bedroom by tuning into a numbers station. We're gonna asking for SCPs when you do that stuff. I want to go to Wizard World. There are safer ways to go to Wizard World. The Micron Legends website has updated with just merch. GoBot cited, so people have just been finding Scrapbot, Buzzarbot, and Flashbot. That's the original, not original GoBots Transformers did. And apparently there was a...
Go bots.
Yeah, the GoBots with new character Tigertron. I forgot about that. Yes, I figured if the FBI assassinate you mid-call, they'd push enter on your keyboard. Just, you know, like make a point.
So that they know.
Yeah.
You know, this is what happens.
Leaning over, black-gloved finger, like, enter? All right, owned? Okay, Micron Legends figures are out. I forgot there was a Micron Legend stepper. Man of Hot Collectibles, hello. That's a good name. Armada issue number 14 preview on Dreamwave's website, because this year is when 2003 is when Dreamwave relaunched their website. So this is August is when the Worlds Collide story was starting, which started way stronger than it ended, as I recall.
Mm-hmm. I also have those recollections. That
Yep.
was going to be an oh yeah, and then it was oh.
And then it kind of then you were like, oh, is it over? Did it finish? There's an auction for a soon-to-be-released KB exclusive RIDG Axis on eBay.uk. So Megabolt and G-Axis are not out yet. I forgot KB Toys was still around in 03. I think we went through this on a previous stream.
KB Toys is still around. I got that at my local KB Toys. And I think I may have muled 2 or 3 for other people as well.
Yeah, I think I bought one maybe off Tony at a BotCon. It was either that or Stormjet I got from someone on 2005 admin back then. But yeah, that was I think the debut of Orange G-Axis, which went on to become the more common G-Axis somehow.
It's a dope color scheme, white, orange, and black.
Yeah. It's the mean creamsicle. Alright, new Minicon repaints, in-package pictures, plus Rapid Run. What? Click on the infamous read more. Well, that won't work. Oh, right, Rapid Run was the sideways repaint. Okay. Part of the upcoming Transformers Energon line, but is said to not have a role in the Energon cartoon. So remember, also, if this is your first time with us, Energon has only just been announced. It hasn't come out yet.
Mm-hmm.
And we still don't know the kind of sort of soft horror story of the Unicron trilogy animation having, you know, like, synchronized ideals from top to bottom in production. Beast Wars full-size statues unveiled. Micron Legend booster exclusives. Let's just move on from these. I figure someone out there might see, like, some old toy that they got back then and get a little hype. New toy photo galleries. I remember when Hook was taking so many photo galleries. Again, this was huge for site clicks.
Yeah.
Beast Wars Season 1 box set release date. So that came out in 03. For some reason, I thought that came out later. Like, way later. But I was watching those DVDs when I was playing City of Heroes, so I guess, yeah.
Hey, that link is still alive on Amazon.
Oh, hello?
You can get the box set for $28.96.
That's still the same price it was 21 years ago? Did I go to CA? No, it took me to COM. Okay. Free returns for Canada? Hey, yo. All right. That's how I watched Beast Wars properly, was those DVDs. Because I watched it off and on TV, kept missing bits. I think I tried to watch some real media rips that were put up on one of the very first versions of putting episodes on the internet. So these box sets were very seminal for me. New Transformers Energon pictures from Wizards World Chicago. So this is our first time seeing the packaging for the Energon Saber. So this is Energon Saber Minicon Team, Strong Arm, Sky Blast, and Hot Shot. So once again, nobody had really handled these toys yet. We were just getting introduced to what they were. And I think at the time we were marveling at how articulated they were.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was the big step up from Armada that Energon did. Tiny Tins. I feel like we've had 500 news stories about Tiny Tins.
Yeah, they did that. That was, I think that was another KB exclusive.
We had a lot of this.
They had the Spy Changers,
yeah,
as single packs. They had the clear Spy Changers as single packs. Then they did the Spy Changers with Tiny Tins, and then they did weird colors with Tiny Tins?
We had a lot of
greens and oranges.
Yeah, and on these streams we had a lot of Tiny Tin stuff throughout 2003.
Yeah.
Like I said the words Tiny Tins enough to, it's got familiar mouthfeel now. So we got this is Micron Legend Pictures. This was from Super Festival, so we can't see it. The viewing schedule for Armada on August 23rd. New batch of wallpapers. Big ups to Reactor and Jet Plague. What was that, Aaron?
I was going to say, still no new episodes for the viewing schedule on the 23rd.
Damn. Is the show getting canceled? What is this? Is the set booster thing those blind packs? Like the gacha boxes? Maybe? Whoa! Okay, so this is like when we had OTFCC 03, the bummer. Was there anything past the click info-wise? No. Okay. So Fran O'Boyle, Tony Bacala, and J.E. Alvarez. We're at Wizard World Chicago.
Us from Wizard World using Telegraph.
Yep, they sent a pigeon. So there were a lot of I remember there was a lot of photos of Alternator Smokescreen because that was when there were still car forums, like car head forums, not believing the toy could transform. So what did we all get to see? There was Alternator Smokescreen, there was Armada Energon Ultra Magnus and Rapid Run, Energon Strong Arm, some of the Universe stuff, Energon Ironhide and Hotshot, and a bunch of stuff about Energon splash art and things. So we knew nothing about the show at this point, other than like the very fuzzy projector AMV set to Evanescence that the Hasbro lady played at OTFCC 03. Bring Me to Life AMV of a bunch of Energon stock footage. It was so friggin' cool, because you didn't know the context, right? All right, the panel reinforced a lot of information from the OTFCC panel. They mentioned any toy made between 1988 and 1989 through Robots in Disguise is fair game for Universe, which I think panned out to only really mattering for King Atlas, I think. Like, that was the one retro toy.
Did we get the Soundwave? Ground Pound, or no, not Ground Pounder.
Stalker? Like the Machine Wars one?
Yeah.
Did we get that in Universe?
I can't remember. I think that there was another one that was...
Okay.
That was like the missile truck.
Also confirmed, Terrorcons in Energon will have beast modes, and Hasbro has suggested that G1 Six-Shot will not get reissued in the States due to having a gun mode. So this is before someone realized you could flip a gun upside down and call it a submarine, and then call it a day. Hey, too much information for one day? Prepare for more. Apparently, Andrew Frankel has worked over a year trying to get G1 for... Oh! So this is the era of discovering G1 Fort Max simply cannot pass the drop test. I remember this from the BotCons and TFCC. Like, they were doing everything they could to make Fort Max able to release in the States, and the figure just keeps detonating into shrapnel every time they tried the drop test. They couldn't figure out a single thing they could do. Metroplex as well. They just kept exploding into shivs, basically. That was the problem.
Because the drop test is... Oh, shoot. I'm trying to remember what it is. It's a sequence of from 3 foot onto concrete, and it has to survive like 3 drops from 3 foot onto a hard concrete surface, and also 1 drop from 6 foot onto a concrete surface. And then anything that comes off of it has to be like, it can't fit down the choke tube that's a simulacrum of a child's esophagus.
The latex tube.
Nor can it be anything that is sharper than some thing. It's like, it's not a bad thing. It's part of why ball joints are so cool, because the ball joint will take that and go sproing, versus Fort Max that has no sproing and it just goes drunk.
Because it was, I remember that originally we only heard drop test, and a lot of us spent a embarrassing amount of time thinking that just meant the toy breaks if it's dropped, and we're like, well, collectors won't do that. And then it was when they revealed the real problem is when a toy explodes into sharp pieces, and that a kid could throw Fort Max off of a banister in a 2-story house, run downstairs, and then pick up like 20 literal shivs of plastic and start stabbing their friends, and that's the problem. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And I think this is also one of the things that started me down the lines of like, okay, well, what's the difference in engineering and design and things of that nature, that has continued to be like where I want to scream at people that will like get upset at like, bruh, but why can't these 2 things match exactly, or whatever it is, yellow paint versus yellow plastics, like physics and how stuff works. I don't know, man. It's a toy. Chill.
I think this I think is my memory being right, but this like opened a neuron. I think all the talk about the drop test and finding out what it meant, I think also led to discovering that is one of many factors that wrote off the USS Flag from ever coming out again. Is like there were, I think even back in 03 era, I think people kind of wrote off the idea of the Flag coming back a little bit as like, that's just too big. But I want to say someone said the Flag is also a drop test nightmare.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, those big flat panes of plastic. Yeah.
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 I feel like that was said somewhere at a BotCon or something, but it's just, when a neuron door opens slightly and you're like, I think I remember this little bullet point. So if someone actually knows for sure, like, please let me know. Also, I chuckled when I scrolled up. Aaron, the Tiny Tins are finally out.
At Toys R Us. So apparently that was just the way. I had strong memory of KB. It might have just been like the clear Spy Changers that were KB.
Yeah. $3 Tiny Tins, by the way. I believe they're worth notably more than that now.
Yes.
So, have some FOMO if you missed out on your Tiny Tins back then. Alright, Micron Legends series update. Don't need that. This I think is going to be Wizard World. Yep, so what else did we find out of Wizard World? More Energon and Alternators first waves. Armada, what were the reveals? The gift set. Power Links repainted Jetfire. A puzzle. And a lot of Power Links repaints, I think. Did that thrust... Is that the thrust? No, Red Thrust is the one that didn't come out for a million years. So yeah, this was tail end of Armada. Yellow Landfill, who nobody knew that he would in fact be Yellow Landfill. And I think this is Universe Optimus and Ultra Magnus. I think this is Splendid Convoy, I think. Yellow Fire Convoy.
Think so.
Don't hold me to that, but I think that's the Universe release of this Optimus Prime. So, for those who want their Splendid Convoy history, it looks like it may have begun in August 2003. And there's a reissue Inferno. Energon plot revealed from Kyde! before he was Joseph Kyde. So here's the spoilers from the... Oh, yeah, right. This is when someone took a photo of the back of a card for the blurb, because they still had blurbs back then.
Mm-hmm.
The quest for Energon, a rare and potent substance that the Autobot and Decepticon warriors have battled over for eons, continues on Earth. The Decepticon forces have struck a deal with Unicron. In exchange for new powers and forms, they will supply enough Energon to fully reactivate him. Now legions of hyper-powered Decepticons speed towards Earth, intent on controlling its Energon resources at any cost. Only an elite team of Autobots, empowered by the Spark of Combination, can save the planet from total destruction. We were so thrown off by this back then. Because the show wasn't done yet, so we were like... So Unicron's not dead? And this is when the hyperpower forms on Decepticon toys, like, that we thought that was actually going to be a thing in the show. Spark of Combination was so exciting. Yeah, I remember getting thrown off hard by the Decepticon side of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was supposed to be Decepticon's gimmicks, was hyperpower. They deploy, like, a thing in their alt mode, and then, the show didn't really, like, do all that much.
Do that, yeah.
Hey, analysts believe...
Do it once for the toy release, and that's it.
Yeah. Analysts believe Transformers sales trends are going to continue. They said the Transformers brand, one of the hottest selling toys of April and first quarter 03. So they were right, but I think they weren't aware of the movie yet.
Mm-hmm.
Details of the...
Well, yeah, earlier, what was it, our last show of doing this, we found out that Michael Bay's out of the running.
Yeah, Michael Bay's not on the Transformers movie. He's been specifically nixed from the potential director list. What a trip. What a trip that was. I wonder when we get the turnaround on that one. Kmart bonus value sets. Okay, Aaron, did you ever chase these down? Because if I remember right, these were just toys put into a bigger package with a sticker on it.
I don't think that I did. I would have... These are the things that I think I looked for because they didn't, like, register to me as variants, because it wasn't, like, as manufactured it was different.
Yeah.
It was just two things put with a cardboard, like a different cardboard back and wrap thing, and then plastic wrapped around it. I did look for them, or things of this nature, for the absolute completionist friends, but I think this was below my threshold at that time.
This is when you were starting to realize.
Well, no, because it's not. If that outer thing was taken off of it, then the package inside is still the same as any other package release.
Yeah. That makes sense to me.
There's a hierarchy there.
Yeah.
That makes it valid.
Griffman, are we just going to ignore Al Roker on the front page of TF? Yeah. The Kmart bonus value sets, thanks to Al Roker for the heads up. I don't know if that was TV's Al Roker or just TFW's Al Roker. But yeah, thank you, Al Roker, for the heads up. We got gift set things, more variants. The roleplay swords have a variant. Some were shipping with a Universe CD. Variant collectors, keep your eyes peeled. Hey, Aaron.
They are not Transformer toys. They are Transformer roleplay toys.
All right. I'm just always curious. I think I just never even thought to ask back then.
Mm-hmm.
I just was like, whatever, I don't look for that stuff. AM Zod, I love these streams so much. Got to pop in real quick to say, when I saw the vehicle to robot in 6 seconds alternators toy print ad, I got excited because I thought they transformed quick. Alternators, unfortunately, did not. But, oh, what's this? Stories worth sharing. Oh, this is, okay, I'm not going to click this. This might be rude. This is a bunch of fanfic. Being featured on the front page. I remember when we were trying at one point on this site to have a bigger push to represent fanfiction. But I think showing people's 21-year-old fanfiction is potentially very rude. So I'm going to leave this alone.
I should tell Alfie she made the front page.
She made this. Hey, about 21 years ago, you were on the front page. It's kind of cool that they were, like, this was Chris, right? Yeah. It was, like, even listing, like, whether they were ongoing or finished.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cool. Oh, I misclicked. I clicked out of the window. Where'd it go? Here it is. In that time, did another news story drop? Oh, hell yeah, you lucky Canadians. YTV to air a new episode of Armada. So in Canada, we're getting episode 38 first. I remember that was a thing sometimes. YTV would sometimes get the drop on Cartoon Network.
You bastard.
That's right. Robot Lorekeeper. Hey, I only even thought about this the other day. Are they called alternators because that's an actual car component? Did everyone already know that?
Yes.
You know, sometimes I like to say it took me like a long time to find out that Cup's name is because he turns into a pickup truck. So we all got one of these.
Mm-hmm.
So don't feel bad. But yes, that's why they're called alternators. Nobody knows why they're called Binaltech as well. But, where'd I put this window? Here we go. Okay. Crisis to air on... So, okay, YTV's getting a run of these now. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Palisades, Megatron statue, Orson's World time. Statues, by the way, for those who are just tuning into one of these streams, there were so many statues coming out in the 2000s that even back then, I trained a brain filter to glaze over those news items because I kind of didn't care. Aaron, would you like to read the questions and I'll play the role of Orson in this?
Sure. Orson has stopped by and updated Orson's World once again. In this update, we find out if new minicons will be made for Energon and the truth behind the Alternators cartoon rumor. Click read more for all the goodies. Thankfully, it was copied over. Hey Orson, I was just curious if you knew what the reasoning behind why the minicons beep instead of talk on the TV show, as opposed to the comics where they have actual speech. Was this because more voice actors would have to be hired to handle all the minicons? Thank you for your time.
Too many voice actors needed. Also, every main character would need to be more defined than we had time to explore.
Will Energon have new minicon molds or just remolds of Armada minicons?
Yes.
Just wondering, you guys have created some cool diorama backdrops for the Star Wars figures. I was wondering if you had considered doing something like that for the TFs. It would be cool, I think, to be able to have a Cybertron city background to pose figures in front of and stuff like that. Thanks.
No.
Are you the writer of some of the tech specs? Or do you just design a character, give the details to somebody, and they crank one out? Or do you just express your wishes for a character you've designed and not have any final say? Do you ever have somebody come to you and say, we need this type of character with this attitude. Can you design a suitable alt mode /apparent /name to fill this hole in the lineup? I know a lot of thought goes into what each character will turn into because it reflects their personality. I'm interested in whether you are given free reign to shape the characters and thus the whole line as you wish, or if there are certain must-have character types and certain can't-do character types other than leaders. And if you do get to name them, do you prefer abstract names that just describe the character's personality? Hotshot, for example. Names that describe the character's alt mode, Cheetor, for example, because we don't know what a cheetah is. Or names that describe a perfect power the character has, Springer, Skywarp, Thundercracker.
Nobody ever remembered Springer can jump. Everyone who says, oh, I knew that, they're always lying. Anyway, in character.
I have total and free reign on most everything that goes into the Transformers line. I write the rough bios, pick names, 3 at a time for each character, and wait to hear what cleared copyright search. I pick the alt modes. I pick who will cost what. I do the tech spec numbers. I do the colors. And approve the final written bios for the website. I have help, but that is my job. My only can't do's are guns and weird forms. When I look for a name, I always look for something that is easy to repeat, sounds cool, and could work for a character's attitude, as well as hints at his alt mode. I also try to find one-word names, but that is almost impossible these days.
Alternators cartoon?
Not true.
Sorry if this has been asked already, but I couldn't find it when I searched the forum. Why was Dead End chosen for the name of Unicron's Minicon? I remember when we first heard the big beach ball was coming out, that his minicon was going to be called Gobatron, my personal favorite, then Nebulon, and ends up as Dead End. Don't get me wrong, Dead is a fine name, but IMO, it doesn't seem to fit Unicron's little buddy. So why not Gobatron or Nebulon? Was it to keep the name Dead End a long-standing TF name, or something else?
Nebulon did not clear, and I thought that Gobatron would reflect poorly on this long-desired Unicron toy. I didn't want to cheapen the product with an insider joke.
What motivated you to get into this business in the first place?
Draw cool stuff all day and get paid for it. Easy.
Is there some arbitrary limit to how many universe figures will be released, or is it a if people keep buying them, we'll keep releasing them scenario?
Always is.
Will there be Transformers, universe CDs that are compatible for the Macintosh?
Nope.
The Macintosh.
The Macintosh.
The one that we have.
This is 03, so I don't think that Apple really, like, breached, you know, the little bubble it was in at this point. When did they? When did iPod happen? Is that 05?
Let's go. The iPod was... you are wrong, sir. Release date of the original iPod is November 10th, 2001.
Wow! And yet we're calling it the Macintosh.
Yeah.
Hot damn. Oh, take it easy, Flame War 05. Wave sign the era of Psykill getting brutally murdered comic cameos. That is correct. This is when it was actually difficult to talk up GoBots for real, for real. You'd like actually get shouted down. Okay, WaveSign says, this would have been the transition to the OS X era before that got to be certified as an Unix. I vaguely recall some of this stuff because of friends having, like, Apple editing machines.
Yeah. The Macintosh just makes me think of elementary school and the Apple IIes.
Oh. Or the iMacs, like with the big colorful bubble things on the back.
No. That was yeah, maybe for you for elementary school. We were still the, like, beige box Apple IIes that were like monochrome green monitors, and if you were good in class, you got to play,
Oregon Trail?
the Oregon Trail, or the there was like a math snake game or something.
Yeah,
I forget. There were
I had
two or three
those.
of them.
I had those in
They had-
early.
My school had like 3 copies of Oregon Trail, so you had to be on your A game in order to get. Yes, Griffman Math Blaster. You had to be on your A game
Math Blaster
to get to play Oregon Trail.
Yeah, we had the green ones when I was in elementary school with a lot of Oregon Trail, but then the iMac showed up just as I was going to high school. Corona Prime, you had computers in elementary school. Hell yeah, we had the computer lab.
Yeah,
you don't mess around with
they
that
weren't
stuff.
like in the classroom. They were like in like the 12 computers that the school had was in a lab.
No, back then we had computers that folded up out of the desks every single day. What happened to you guys? What happened in the aughts, in the 2010s? What happened to the school system? I saw something else here. Toy Guy is saying, I'm watching the stream with my buddy who was born in 06. This is the first time he has ever heard it was called the Macintosh. It's hilarious. That's excellent. Anyway, what did Orson mean by no guns and weird forms? Was that people early on saying make a dildo or like make a
I don't
toilet? Like what's a weird
probably
form?
yeah, he's probably saying like, you know, man, would during Orson's time, would they have even done, were there ever any like blasters or sound waves that were audio devices?
When did Music Label happen? That would be my question.
Yeah, but Music Label would not have been Hasbro. That was
Oh,
Takara.
yeah,
That was all
yeah.
Import. That was Takara saying.
Well,
"Screw
Armada
you, we'll do our
Laserbeak.
own thing."
Armada Laserbeak was technically.
Yeah, but that was also kind of role play. That was like the kid tie-in thing, maybe. I don't know.
JT Elm, what happened to the school system? Man, how long do you want this stream to be?
Yes.
Also, Chris Carnage with Let me tell you about Max, Jack. We were one a room, brother. Not one room, no, not whole rooms, dude.
I saw the brother. I had to go. I had to go for it.
But yeah, Akan Lord, it may be like no blot, scowl, no weird like monster
Yeah.
things. I could see that being like, you want something that's recognizable from 10 feet away, so that a kid comes over and wants the car that turns into a robot, not the weird.
Oh.
Could you imagine trying to do Pretenders in some phases of Transformers? You want a thing that turns into a skateboard and then goes into this weird soft plastic man? You high?
Aaron, new universe variants in the UK. Supercon, Optimus Prime, Blur, the Space Team, the Destruction Team, and the Adventure Team are all packaged with universe CDs, while on the original Blue Armada card backs, not the Battles of Unicron card backs. Variant collectors, keep your eyes peeled. Word.
Yep.
Did you?
So that's what I was talking about. We were saying before, the 4 different versions, the default with the pack-in, the Unicron battles with pack-in.
Hot damn. I didn't even remember most of this. I was not paying attention to a lot of this stuff back then.
Yeah.
Holy moly. Sideswipe Prime, no way Aaron bought those variants. No, dog. Aaron once ran with a crew who brought the variant packaging mind rot. Because I remember when we started the podcast, that was when Aaron was like on rehab from packaging variants. Like dialing down to mold completionism.
Yeah, mold completionism, and I'm now like mainline mold completionism. I'm not doing all the sideline stuff. I look at them and I go, eh.
Remember, everybody, there were also way less Transformers coming out back then, so it was kind of like buying 4 copies of every Armada toy, quote unquote, here or there, is kind of like if you buy one of everything that comes out right now, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of, I mean, it's
still nuts.
When written down on paper or said out loud, it does still sound mathematically at least 3 times less sane. But, numerically, Creator Prime, also they were cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was also still in college working a part-time job at this point. So finances would be different.
Did we ever try dreamwaveprod.ca? I can't remember. I'm guessing it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
Oh, damn it. Well, G.I. Joe versus Transformers First Look. Who knows what that was?
It was probably Transformers and G.I. Joe in the same comic.
That's impossible. That's impossible.
Yeah.
More wallpapers from Wee Woo and Reactor. I remember Wee Woo. What is this? Japanese G1 game info. It's still not out. This was half the news in like stream number 1. Fan to fan, more information on the G1 Japanese PS2 game. Late to report this. Oh, good. What were you saying?
Linkrot,
yeah. Fan to fan was another one of the ones I was kind of surprised were gone. Fan to fan used to be like every day. That was an everyday click, and it's just gone. So, late to report this, some further tidbits of information on the upcoming Transformers game that has been featured in Dengeki PlayStation Magazine, released on 8 August 3. On 8 August, 3 features of the game were shown and described. Spark Combo. It is a special attack that can be used by the character when they are in spark charge mode, which can be activated by charging up their spark gauge. The combo will display a series of stylish punches and kicks to the opponent. Team Formation. Anytime in the game, the player can choose the type of formation the 3 Transformers under the player, depending on the formation. It could activate some combo attacks. Shown in the picture are Red Fist Combo by Optimus and Rodimus Prime, as well as Lightning Attack when Wheeljack and Jazz are attacking the same enemy. Although simple formations, frontline, sideline, endline options were available, this feature certainly adds an element of strategy into the game. Item. Besides the usual item you could pick up in the stage to replace HP and MP, there are also some items that can permanently upgrade your character's abilities, known as Energon Cube. Only after the stage is clear, the collected Energon can be used to upgrade the character's HP or MP. Boss. 2 bosses from the game were revealed, Trypticon and Predaking. While the size is at least 3 times bigger than the usual Transformers, it is not known if these bosses could be used by the player once they've been defeated. New playable characters revealed in this report were Ultra Magnus, RC, Blur, Springer, Sharkticon, Cyclonus, Scourge, and Octane. nobody knew what the game was going to be like, so when you simply describe it and have fuzzy still photos, this game was... everyone thought this was going to be like the game of the century during these news items.
Why does the first part of that also seem like a Sungwon Cho Pro ZD skit?
Yeah, when they're the various different combos you can form.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's Milk Combo?
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone who is watching these streams starts sighing. Someone sighs every time we hit another one of these news items. You got to imagine a world where nobody has played the game and there are no Transformers games. This hit so hard back then. And then, like, is this how people talked in 2003? Yeah, we couldn't type. We had all kinds of problems writing stuff down. Also,
come on, there's always been a voice like this. That's the Mid-Atlantic accent.
That's right. That's right. Late to report this. Some further tidbits of information. Hey, Kenlord, when I get Tatakai, the game will turn my house to solid gold, and I will own a 90-foot super yacht. There were some folks who came off like that, yeah. Also because it was an import PS2 game, and in 03, it was not straightforward to just play an import PS2 game.
Yeah.
You couldn't just buy a Japanese PS2 off Mandarake or something as easily as you could 4 years later. So we got some Armada in Sweden news. So Swedish Armada will start airing September 1st, 03 on Swedish Kanal 5. I think Armada had a dub over there. I think it was Beloved. Robot Lore Keepers, Mystery of Convoy and the home computer one, then nothing, right? There were some Beast Wars games. Most of them were bad. So I guess they don't really count. I think the fighting games could be beloved depending on what platform you were on, but like the mission-based Beast Wars game, that was a third-person game where you could only be a robot for about 10 seconds, was bad.
Yeah,
It was,
I remember that being the classic Nintendo hard. Like, this is hard for no reason other than to be hard and mad at you.
Hard and bad and an early PS1 game, so you also had graphics jank and like the engine just not really working sometimes. Transformers
like
licenses.
This should be in an arcade cabinet to be sucking quarters away from you.
No, then you'd sue the arcade because you like glitched out through the floor or something. Like that was like super early PS1. Trans Fandom has posted a scan of USA Today, where apparently Transformers was the number 3 license behind Yu-Gi-Oh! And the Power Rangers. So that's where we were in 03. Was Yu-Gi-Oh! And Power Rangers on top, with Transformers in the bronze medal position. CyberCon Expo Hotel Incentive. Was this an art print?
I have that art print.
I do too. Was there a story about this where it was hard to get it to come out or something, or am I thinking of a different one?
I don't remember. I remember it being a thing. They had to make so many because this was like early in the big lithos, and like fan lithos, I think. Because it was like the first 100 rooms reserved under the event gets the litho, and then they had some for sale later. I can't remember, and I remember it being a giant pain because they're huge lithographs. They're like, I forget the metric size.
I had to like bend over to blow my nose, by the way, in case people are wondering.
A5 sheets or something. So
yeah, this is getting prints done in like 03, so it was, again, like the technology's there, but it wasn't quite as like, it was straightforward, but it wasn't as straightforward as it would be later.
A5 is like a normal piece of paper. I think it's like an A2 or an A1.
It's on glossy too, I think, right?
Yeah.
Pee Poo Poo in the chat. I like how many things have the prefix trans. It's true. Lithograph by Dreamwave? Huh. I thought this was just by, like, one of the fan artists. I don't know. I guess they could have been working with Dreamwave as well at the time. Orson's World Update. This one is not as easily divided, Aaron, but it's your turn to be Orson. so I will read you some questions. Orson has stopped by, an updated Orson's World once again, some Energon Starscream info, and more. Hey, Orson, we have seen leaked prototype pictures of Energon Starscream, and there is a group... Oh, I remember this. This was an eBay leak. He was unpainted. Oh, I remember this. This was a stupid week on the message boards. Yeah, I remember this. We have seen leaked prototype pictures of Energon Starscream, and there is a group of people who insist that he is remolded from Smoke Jumper, and although he does look inspired by Smoke Jumper, I think this remold talk about Starscream is rubbish, don't you?
His TF process is similar to Smoke Jumper, but he is a new toy top to bottom. We never retool a whole guy. That would not make sense.
Oh, that's such a weird thing to say now, isn't it?
Yeah. This is some version of partial.
Yeah.
Except for it was like a 1.5 scale, so it's not even like it would have been straight over.
No, it was just the same transformation scheme. Like, that was it. This was a stupid week on the message boards. I remember this. I remember getting into fights over this on the message board. Because back then I was, like, much younger, and I got into fights on message boards. But this was a straight-up brawl, because we were also all operating off of some real potato eBay photos of an unpainted one of these in just plastic colors. But this was a huge brawl on the forums.
None of the clear plastic you could tell was clear plastic. No paint. And again, this is 2003, so yeah, potato photos. These are like, 3/4 megapixel photos is what you're getting.
And there was only like 1 or 2 photos because the person with the auction was not trying to get news credits. They were trying to sell the toy that they stole. So they...
But they'd walked out the back of the factory, yeah.
Back then, I think there was a lot more of, like, the auctioneers would take really bad photos because part of the selling point would be like, hey, if you win this, you can be the one who takes the good photos. Anyway, next question. Do you have any involvement in the Play School line? If so, what is the reasoning behind the GoBots no longer being a Transformers subline?
GoBots is for a younger market, and there's no need to mix the two fantasies. GoBots and Transformers are not connected.
I think that bummed me out back then. Hey, Orson, any particular reason as to why there won't be Universe CDs compatible for Mac users? I myself use a Mac, and I've been holding out on buying the Universe figures until they started showing up with CDs, and now I find out I won't even be able to access the CD? I know that there have got to be more people out there in the same situation as myself, and it would appear to me that you would want to include as much of the fan base as possible.
The technology used on the discs is for the instant download. It does not work on Macs. It is a partnership we have with another company, and that's the way it is. Sorry.
And, like, this is back in the day when, like, this would be a big talking point, because it's like, you couldn't rely on someone to just rip the CD and put it on YouTube, because it didn't exist.
Yeah.
I also forgot that it had, like, a proprietary thing. I never used these discs. Like, I didn't actually really buy much of Universe back then, because that was one of my first ways of saving some money, was not buying the repaint line.
Yeah, I remember it being nothing thrilling.
No, it was nothing. Hey, Orson, one of the things I've noticed with Armada is that, with the exception of the roleplay items in Unicron, the figures all seem to be relatively in scale with each other. And from early pictures of Energon from TFCC, it looks as if that trend will continue. My question is, has this ever hindered or prevented you from creating certain characters or alt modes, such as a radio or other everyday items, because they would be way out of scale with the rest of the line?
Yes.
Thanks, Orson, for that great update. We've got Powerlink's Jetfire hitting Walmart in August 15th. Hey, there's going to be a big sale on minicons and supercons at Toys R Us. The minicons will be $6 and the supercons will be $8. Jesus, $8 deluxes that come with a minicon and have a play feature. Heroes of Cybertron Wave 4 in stores and at Shopko. What's Shopko? In Wisconsin.
It's a grocery store.
Okay.
Let me do a Google search. Looks like a grocery store that declared bankruptcy in 2019. Department stores.
They got out of there before lockdowns happened.
Yeah.
All right, well, August 30th, new Armada, could it be? No. So people were still waiting. Pray to the cable gods that you have YTV. I remember this line, pray to the cable gods that you have YTV, made me laugh back then, because I was like, we just have that in Canada. Cinetron gathering images. Little Iron has posted images of the Cinetron Transformers fan gathering in China. Cinetron is a Transformers fan gathering in China. There's an exhibit area, a dealer room, lounge, and discussion area, photo section, hosted by the Trans Fans Club. Do we got anyone?
Hey, that site still works.
Is it a site I should click on?
I think. I'm trying to find dates on stuff. Looks like it may have stopped updating in 2016.
Oh, wait, I remember this year. Oh, I don't like the big red slashed lock that appeared when I opened this.
Yeah, not secure, but it's...
Hey, no,
it's not
TF
triggered
Club.
anything else.
TF Club have done stuff since. Oh no, wait. When did Power Baser come out? Because that's a fans hobby piece on the top right. That's kind of new. Ish. Kind of not. Picky Peas, believe it's pronounced Sinotron. Thank you. Sinotron. Sounds like that was like a sort of convention fan meetup. Did anyone watching ever go? I'm curious. Yeah, they seem to have just stopped in late 2016. I guess Power Baser might have been out by 2016. So, okay, they probably stopped updating the security certificate also, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I vaguely recall this site, but I don't think I ever really looked at it that much. But it was around since 2003, at least. We got a Them Funny Robots update. The conclusion of the 5-part Last Stand story. Jeez, I don't think I was reading it then. Sorry, Seth. That sounds intense. Corrito Prime can't believe Siege is almost 10 years old.
Yeah.
Did you all know that Age of Extinction was a decade ago? Sideswipe Prime says TF Club looks like they have an active Twitter on the side. Because there was a missing link B in there. I missed that, but... They could, I mean, a lot of websites I could see just pivoting to social media, because that was kind of a thing.
Let somebody else pay for your hosting?
Yeah. Let's see. McDonald's Happy Meal Transformers Armada are now out in Denmark. So Denmark got them right after Sweden, I guess. Oh no, Sweden in December. Norway in September as well. New episode of Armada this afternoon on YTV. Hell yeah. It's Orson World time. Aaron, you wanna be the question asker?
Yeah. Orson has stopped by and updated Orson's World on this fine Monday. Orson clarifies some info about Energon repaints and what Armada character will appear in the Energon show. Also, some other info has been added. Click read more for all the goodies. Thankfully, we don't have to. Back in the days of RID, we received a few molds that didn't make it out for Beast Machines. I was wondering if there are still some molds that you nearly finished or did but never used for any series. Open parentheses, if they didn't fit with the line or didn't make it in time, close parentheses, if so, could they appear in universe?
There are not too many that made it to tools and stopped, or had limited production. So the answer is no.
Ultra Magnus, Rapid Run, and Treadbolt will be repainted Armada toys done up for Energon. Will they have the signature Energon weapons made for them, similar to what the other Energon figures have, or will it just be released as they were seen at the conventions? Also, can you tell us which of the three will be in the animated series? Finally, will Energon Tidal Wave still come with Ramjet?
Number 1, as you saw. Number 2, only Tidal Wave is in the animation. Number 3, yes.
You have stated many times that the Transformers characters will have bio/text specs on Transformers.com. There are some toys that have been out for quite a while now, and there are no text specs/bios up on the site for them. I understand that you are a very busy man and that Hasbro is no longer fond of the bio/text specs, but most of the fandom loves them. When can we expect new bio/tech specs to be uploaded onto the website.
I understand your pain. If I can direct you to the site to find bios, they should be there. Our site partner does all of the Hasbro sites, and TF bios is only a small part of their overall job. I can tell you the bios have been done for a long while, but I have no answers as to when they will appear on the site.
I just like the conceit that this question asker is like, Orson is the only guy doing Transformer stuff. He designs them, he writes the bios, he does the website, he works the plastic presses, the glue stick that holds the cards on. He's the guy that does it all.
Back then, I think I wasn't too far. Like, I knew there was a team, but back then, it was, given how much he was posting, my visualization was that there was like a Transformers office room, and it was primarily just his desk, and like a few other people came in and out. Because I think that in 03 we still didn't really have much of a comprehension of how Transformers were made.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like there were a lot of the questions are like, "Well, you work at Hasbro. I want a VHS
Creo.
tape."
He hand molds all of them. Robot Lore Keeper, he hand paints them like Santa.
Yeah.
No, the elves do all the hand painting. Santa's only the delivery man and slave master.
Wave Sign Orson was the original Soto guy. That might be
Yeah.
just like my default brain for like when there's only one nameable entity for a toy line publicly known. And I'm just like, well, they must do everything.
All right, last one here. There are some bits of info on Energon that seem to be taken as fact that don't really make sense, and I was wondering if you could help me out. Number one,
I'll answer
if
each of
Energon
these
is
as
a
you go.
continuation of Armada, then shouldn't it be Galvatron, not Megatron, as many seem to believe?
It should, but it ain't. It's Megatron.
Number two, it's been implied that, at least in the beginning, Megatron/Galvatron doesn't lead the Decepticons. Instead, it's Scorponok. Yet, it seems many assume that Galvatron/Megatron is in the first wave. But this would contradict Scorponok being in charge to begin with. So is Megatron/Galvatron in the first wave, or will he show up a bit down the track?
Scop is the leader at the beginning. Megs is not in the first waves.
Number three, this is sort of related to the last question, but it's assumed by many that Galvatron will be the Decepticon Ultra in Wave 1. So that makes Scorponok the Wave 1 Decepticon Mega. But I would have thought Scorponok would be more appropriate as an Ultra. So what is he? Ultra or Mega?
Super Megatron. Ultra Scorp.
Number four, will other Armada characters, not Minicons, besides Prime, Hotshot, Starscream, and Galvatron get new Energon-specific molds?
I think you have them all. Oh! Tidal Wave.
Number five, will Battle Ravage be called Battle Ravage in the cartoon, or just Ravage?
Don't call him anything.
Battle Ravage always. We cannot use Ravage alone.
He'll just not say anything or be referred to by name in the cartoon, and then we're all good. I don't think they ever called a Terracon by name in that cartoon, right? Someone in the chat will probably know.
Think
But
so, yeah.
yeah, they skipped the problem altogether.
Yeah. Yeah, every time he's mentioned out loud.
JT Elm, what are these questions? Look,
Hey,
I want
man.
to offer some kindness to the question askers. In 03, this is literally the first time anyone ever really got to interact with Hasbro outside of a convention for like half a minute. So people were just firing from the hip, just bang, 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 let's reload the chamber, bang, bang, bang. I just thought of something in the shower, gonna go talk to Aaron Archer on the forums now, so,
Yeah. Anybody could ask the question, and Orson would just answer whatever they felt like.
And whatever he
So,
wanted. There was no rules about what he
Yeah.
answered. He would just pick some to answer. So
Yeah. You would find if he'd come on and done anything by searching for his name and saying like his most recent posts and going, oh, he answered like 6 things yesterday. And then somebody would throw together a story.
Wavesign says every time Battle Ravage isn't on screen, the kid should be asking, "Where's Battle Ravage?"
Yeah.
Carino Prime's also very right. Also, people were like 21. Yeah, like I said, a lot of the fandom was super young at this point. So young college to high school kids who are on a young internet. There's no established notion of talking to people who make the stuff you like. It's very messy, but I think someone here, Orange Man, put it well. The vibes of the fandom are somehow better and worse than they are now. It's like, yeah. It's like some things are so much more innocent and fun, and also some things are so like unbelievably frustrating or embarrassing. It's a total mixture. Carnage, imagine Archer just facepalm head scratching. Probably sometimes. I mean, his introduction to the forum was on the back of a guy claiming to work at Hasbro saying that Armada Optimus will be a human posable action figure transformer with millions of joints and like a transforming minicon matrix. So like, he arrived to deal with like pie in the sky lunacies, you know? GTM, I want to say BS on firing from the hip when these questions are so researched, but I still know every single Pokemon type interaction, so yeah, I guess I get it. Alright, new box picks of Splendid Convoy and the Ultra Magnus nobody remembers anymore. And Aaron, we're already here. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Okay.
Do you want to be you want to be Orson? Is it your turn?
Yep.
All right.
It's my turn.
Well, that one just kept going. Orson has stopped by and updated Orson's World again, etc., 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 Fate of Sunstorm, etc. Hey, Orson, so with the release of the Heroes of Cybertron Sunstorm figure to pre-registrants for OTFCC 2004, I was curious if Sunstorm had any kind of future in the TF mainline, or store exclusive, or any other type of figure with his name on it.
No plans. Takara released G1 Starscream in yellow as an exclusive. We will honor that as an exclusive and not do it in our market.
This is also wild, given, like, 15 years later, we have Generation Selects just basically being e-hobby, right?
Yeah,
Orson, I've been following your responses and updates for a while. I think it's very interesting to hear your perspectives, personal involvement, and tastes, etc. In a recent response, that all said, in a recent response, you mentioned Ravage will always be Battle Ravage in Energon. The rights to the character names has left me pretty confused as the subject keeps coming up. Why are some names that have been previously used in Transformers lines no longer available? Have rights been sold off? Copyrights expired? Are other companies using the names for their own characters? In Ravage's case, what happened between Beast Wars and Energon that the name is now off limits?
You have to use them at least once every 3 years, and that is not always protection from losing it based on a review. It is too long to explain, but these names don't last forever in product, trademark, and copyright. I could tell you how we almost lost Megatron once, but that would drive you all to burn down the U.S. Trademark Office. Don't ask.
Hey,
so of course the next World question will be,
hey, Archermonster, I know sometimes you watch these. Did you ever talk about that anywhere, and can you? Because I forgot about this, and I'd like to know. Surely 21 years is long enough for this to be a harmless haha story now. Aaron, do you know if you ever talked about this?
Oh, I can't think so. It's probably just a matter of, like, they didn't use Megatron. Would they have used Megatron in G2 back?
They did.
They had Pro Megatron, then they had Megatron in Beast Wars. I can't think of a time when they wouldn't have been using Megatron for that stretch of time.
I absolutely do not remember this tidbit that they once almost lost Megatron. So I would like some folks, if anyone out there can do the diggins, I'm kind of curious. If Archermonster ever swings by to check this out, I'm super curious. I'm wondering if this relates to the existence of Megaplex, and that might have been like how do you put this? Like the leftovers of whatever might have been a world where Megatron is gone. I'm very curious. I'm asking now because it's been 21 years. So I'm an adult now. I can ask you this.
Wavesign says it may be referencing the Yu-Gi-Oh card named Space Megatron that never got printed outside of Japanese.
There was a Yu-Gi-Oh card called Space Megatron? That's metal. Because I know that in the 1980s, Tetsuo the Iron Man has a soundtrack track called Megatron, but I don't think that's related.
Yeah, but that's like that's a place where those don't cross over because Transformers isn't a music thing.
Yeah.
Like that's where some of the trademark copyright stuff gets a little bit odd in that, like, well, no, it's not in, paper goods products, so you can call a robot Kleenex, and Kleenex may not have a leg to stand on to come after you for naming something.
Orange Man is
that's a
connecting
toy.
dots that are now connecting for me, because in Japan, is Space Megatron the Yu-Gi-Oh card the same era of Beast Wars 2 and Neo when we had Gigatron and Megastorm? Because, like, maybe it was a Japan side thing that almost bled over to the state. I am so curious. I want to know about this, because, like, Megatron's a word that I've never seen anywhere else.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that's specifically a construction that Budiansky was like, it's like Megaton.
Yeah.
And Tron
But a
was
robot.
a movie. So, Megatron.
Yeah. I am so curious. But, hey, Orson, since Tidal Wave will not only be repainted, but also shown in the TV series as well, can we expect his old combing ability with Armada Megatron to be used again? Will the new molds of Scorponok or Megatron somehow be able to combine with him too?
No.
Hey, Orson, probably too late for this. In Energon, maybe for another line or something. If the trilingual thing is what's keeping Hasbro from making bio cards, how about collectible cards without bios? Would it be possible to put Dreamwave character art on the front and maybe a small 3D model battle scene or a simple chart with some specs on the back? I like getting the collectible stickers, but a card would be even better, especially to go with an international collection.
Wait and see.
I don't even know what that's in reference to, because so many things had cards.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was like half of the front of Armada packaging.
Yeah.
Was the sticker card thing, right? And it was just a paper sticker card. It wasn't even like it was a cardboard cardstock thing.
By the way, Eric Palermo, hello, Eric, and Alan Weaver both saying Space Megatron Yu-Gi-Oh! Came out in 2000, so that kind of times with Beast Wars 2. Kind of. Anyway. Hey, Orson. I'll do these one at a time. Number 1. Out of all the Armada molds, why is Tidal Wave the only one in the Energon cartoon?
He's big and will sell well.
Number 2. Will the Armada Tidal Wave mold be able to combine with the new mold Energon Decepticon leaders?
No.
Number 3. Will Tidal Wave only be repainted for Energon?
Yes.
Number 4, can we expect to see a 100% new mold Tidal Wave built for the Energon toys and Energon cartoon series?
No.
Hey, Orson, is Energon Supersize Megatron a 100% new mold?
Yes.
I'm curious about the change in the use of the con suffix in recent Transformers lines. From the start of G1 through G2, Beast Wars, Beast Machines, and RID, the con ending was always used to designate an evil faction. Decepticon, Stunticon, Predacon, Ect. And the bot ending to designate good factions. Autobots, Aerial Bots, Technobots, Ect. The association's always been strong enough that cons and bots are used pretty much shorthand for bad guy versus good guy. With Armada, that long-standing rule was suddenly bent a bit, as the mini-cons were introduced as a neutral faction. Now, according to reports, an actual Autobot faction is going to get the con ending in Energon, something totally counter to the naming conventions of the last 20 years. I'm just curious why you guys decided to go with Omnicons, as reports claim, rather than reviving the name Omnibots from G1. Were there copyright issues, or is there some other reasoning behind the recent use of con and factions or teams that are not villains?
There are now too many bot names on the market. It can't be cleared as easy. Omnibots is taken. Bot is also generic for robot, thus younger. So you will see it used in the GoBots line more. For the record, we no longer see con as a villain-only suffix for Transformers. You don't have to agree with it, but it is how it is. Also, Maximals doesn't have bot in it, but that's just me. That's Aaron Axsmith, not channeling Aaron Archer.
I sprayed a little during that.
Yeah. I could see that. I wasn't even looking at the monitor with your picture in it.
I was as the question kept going, I was like, how much wider can I open my mouth while I'm talking? Hey Orson, we were given a chance to voice our opinion of the new color scheme for Power Link's Blur via an online poll. But I haven't heard anything about that since. It wasn't at OTFCC, and it wasn't at the San Diego Comic Con, or at the Chicago Comic Con. Is this toy still in the works? Will it be released in Energon? Would you be able to shed some light on this? Thanks in advance.
With Armada selling well, we are still making Blur, so we pushed out the Power Links version till late next year. I hope to find a home in the Transformers Universe line for it. These things happen with redeco items.
4 questions, Orson. Number 1, will Scorponok be a Scorpion in Universe?
No.
Number 2, will he be a Headmaster like Overload?
No.
Number 3, will he triple change?
Yes.
Number 4, will he come with a Zarak figure, a Minicon maybe?
No.
Are the transformation sequences in Energon the only parts in CGI?
No.
I have to scroll down for a second. And then, when asked to clarify about Minicon pairing with larger figure.
We did our best to have a variety of forms in both the Minicon and Autobot Decepticon teams. So it just kind of worked out that certain teams would work or look good with certain bots. There was no master plan for team partnership.
Orson, will there be an incarnation of Bumblebee in Energon?
No.
Hey Orson, big fan. Just a quick 6-part question for you. Number 1, in another thread about Scorponok, you said he doesn't turn into a scorpion, which doesn't make a lot of sense.
It is a construction vehicle that has the shape of a scorpion.
Number 2, Armada was pretty much good as far as equal numbers of Autobots and Decepticons. In fact, if only Thundercracker and Skywarp had been counted as separate characters and included in the show, such as their numbers would have been exact, and I personally like that. Especially since there weren't just equal total, but in each size category, well, if you count Super Base Prime as an Ultra. And I was wondering if this would be similar for Energon, or will there be an overabundance of goodies?
Similar.
I don't understand the question, and I don't understand the answer. I think, okay, hang on.
This is lovingly, this is somebody on the spectrum, has a list, and the list's lined up, and that felt good.
I get it now. Okay, I didn't understand, like, the goodies part at the end, nor the similar, but I get it now. Number 3, in a previous post which you answered my question about which Armada characters, Autobot and Decepticon, would get new molds for Energon, you said all of them except Tidal Wave. I take it this might not be entirely true, as some may die in the last 13 episodes of Armada, and you don't want to spoil, but I was wondering if there would be many size price point shifts, like how Megatron has been bumped up to a Super and Starscream bumped down to a Deluxe for other Armada characters in Energon, or if they will stay the same and the aforementioned 2 are the exception.
No.
Number 4, if he does make it through, will it be Energon Hoist or Smokescreen line break?
I don't know.
Number 5, how long before we are likely to see some pics of the Energon Decepticons?
November, December.
And number 6, will the Omnicons and Terracons have VAs in the cartoon or will they beep like the annoying Minicons?
Yes, most of the time.
Will they be this or this? Yes, most of the time.
Yes.
Hey Orson, big fan. Number 1, since Hasbro and Takara were working jointly on Armada, was there ever a consideration of using the same names for both the Japanese and American versions of the line? I mean, for example, having the Minicons called Microns over here in the States, or having it called Armada over in Japan instead of Micron Legend.
Yeah, it never came up. I thought they would use our names for the characters, since Armada released here first. Minicon was the first name we came up with, and it stuck. Also, Micron is a pin here and could not be used.
Number 2, will we see any Minicon-activated gimmicks in the Energon line? Or are the Power Links ports going to be non-functional from now on?
No, non-functional 90% of the time.
GTM, holy crap, I thought Chris was joking when he said 6-part question. Also, Archermonster in the chat.
Yeah, we finally summoned them.
Hey,
it only took some number of goofy voices.
Hey, Archermonster, I don't know if you're allowed to still, but it's been 21 years. 21 years ago, you said that you all nearly lost the copyright to the name Megatron. Is that true? You said not to ask 21 years ago, but an entire drinking
We're
age...
asking now.
We're asking
now,
age
hard-hitting journalism 21 years later after the fact.
Also, hey, what's up? You have some very long entries this stream. If you go back and look, there are some long Orson's Worlds in here. Whilst he figures out whether to answer that or just send a nuke one of our way. Where was I? Final question for you, Orson. Licensed vehicles are a popular Transformer alt modes, especially among some of the older fans who were around for G1. What is the process for deciding what vehicles are used? Do you, the designer, decide on a certain alt mode for a character and then get the legal people to try and get licensing for it after you finish the concept drawing part of the design? Or does the legal department go out and try to ask as many automakers, avionics companies for permission rights as possible, ... And then after, what you can and can't do, and you choose from the available lineup. Also, with Japan and the United States being the largest market for Transformers, is there extra pressure to use vehicles from those countries as opposed to popular brands from Germany, Italy, and so on? Or do you choose from whatever you think looks cool / is popular? One last question. If you were not limited by licensing legal issues at all, what car would you most like to make a Transformer out of? Basically, what's your fave car?
If I want to do a licensed vehicle, I won't do any work on it until a deal is done. No, a well-known VH is most important. There are many German cars in Japan. Is that vehicle? Vehicle, okay. 1979 Lincoln Continental. I have one. Or a G35 Coupe. I don't know. I'm not a car geek.
Archermonster has answered the question. Yes. There was a company that wanted to use the name Negatron. Hasbro Legal didn't want to deal with it and asked us if we, quote, really needed that name. I told them I would quit if they gave up the name. Good. That's a good full circle. I like that.
Yeah.
We thought it was, so we dug up that there was a Yu-Gi-Oh card called Space Megatron in Japan only in 2000, and we thought maybe it was that. This is both better and also slightly more depressing, but overall better. Hasbro Legal's like, do you guys really need the name Megatron for Transformers still?
Yeah, I do want to roll back on this question because he asked about avionics companies. So, to become an airplanesman for just a moment, avionics is like the electronics in an aircraft that controls the thing, not the aircraft companies. That would be an aviation company. So, you could have your Ford or your Dodge or your Garmin altimeter.
So you I hope this guy gets it 21 years later. Be messed up if this guy actually works in avionics specifically, and he was like, no, I actually meant avionics. I only care about the electronics.
Other questions, since we have Archermonster here. Do you still have that 79 Lincoln Continental?
What do you want?
Because it would have been an old car in 2003.
You gonna buy it off him or something?
No, I just want to know if he's rolling with old Detroit steel.
Waveside also saying apparently Hot Wheels Robo Wheels had a villain named Negatron in it. I'm wondering what the timeline is on that and that old postcard meme about being Optimus Prime, not a Negatron. Also, apparently Aaron Archer still has
it. Yes.
Excellent. Do we have any other Archermonster business we had built up over this? I think we were just we were role playing Aaron Archer in our heads more. Aaron Archer, we're still doing the bit. We have made it clear that you were not actually shouting at people. We just think it's more fun. If we adopt the intense tone. Also, you were posting a lot in August 2003, so we might be seeing you again very soon. But in August 19 of 2003, we learned that the canceled Red Power Links thrust got the USA edition release. I remember this news item being huge. back then.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the issue was they wanted to trademark the name, a higher level of protection. Yeah, that who was it? The guy from Germany on the boards put a lot of work in this era. Nevermore. Nevermore put a lot of work into learning how all this worked. And I distinctly remember feeling bad for him because nobody on the boards ever paid enough attention to his posts to remember any of it. And so Nevermore spent at least a calendar year almost exclusively just copy-pasting how copyright and trademark work.
Yeah, anytime anybody said, "Oh, I bet that's copyrighted," he would have a vessel burst, drop the copy pasta in, and be thoroughly ignored.
Yeah, Nevermore, I say this, as someone with family, and I say this lovingly, Nevermore was like the original fussy German fan who, like, knew stuff and, like, especially with the trademark copyright thing, actually learned a lot of that stuff and was trying really hard to tell people how that stuff worked, and everyone kept ignoring him, and he was getting demonstrably frustrated that people were specifically ignoring actual truth on how to speak about this stuff better.
Yeah.
I remember feeling so bad for him and also feeling guilty because I kept forgetting too, but I wasn't ignoring him. I was trying my best. I was just not good at it. Anyway, I'm going to scroll up here. YTV in Canada is still getting new Armada before the States. Hell yeah. Wave 2 Universe.
Kick back, just threatening to move to Canada.
And the Iacon Hub. I remember all this. Back in 03, Iacon Hub is how I watched all these premieres. In 2003, I would download episodes, and when it was a big premiere, I'd actually burn them to VCD with a custom menu backdrop and then watch them on a DVD player. Pee Poop is saying drink every time he says demonstrably. It's a good word.
Just no alcohol. You need to survive. You demand it.
Help get a Beast Machines marathon in Mexico. There was a vote on Cartoon Network, and Beast Machines was one of the choices. I wonder if that turned out. Armada screen caps. I think that's our first one in a while, but that used to be big site traffic.
Well, yeah, because the new episodes weren't airing until just now.
I misclicked. There we go. I don't think I saw one for 38. So someone was slacking. We got another Orson's World coming up right now. First, Transformers Worldwide DVD and VHS checklist. Babel Baladye on Nikki's Transformers, which I vaguely recall, which is www.anime.dds.nl. I am not clicking that. Lists pretty much every release since 1997.
I'll be brave, dead link.
Well, the link as it's written is actually broken because it's newstfw.com/pages/www.
Oh, the click here.
Oh. Okay, dead link. That's a shame. But hey, it's Orson's World time. Aaron, let's trade again. You want to... Oh, God.
All right.
It's just a... Let's do these one at a time.
All right. Orson has been working double time this week. Check out Orson's World, blah, 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 blah. We're going to say what would be in the read more. Number 1. You have said that Energon Scorponok does not have a Scorpion mode, but a Scorpion-like construction vehicle mode. But it does have 3 modes. I am curious as to what the other mode is, unless, of course, you can't say.
Sand Hoverjet.
Just curious, with the Scorponok character, as far as your end, do you plan any nods to Zarek G1 Scorponok's headmaster?
No.
Is there any reason that we've seen mostly Autobot molds from Energon so far? Was it simply that the Autobots were finished first, or is there some other reason?
Finished first.
Number 4. It has been said the main gimmicks for the Autobots will be combination, while the Decepticons will be triple changers. Will these gimmicks hold true for the Omnicons/Terracons as well, or do they have other gimmicks associated with the faction name?
No, they both make the weapons for the bigger bots.
Number 5. I have heard that many of the characters, figure-wise, are being downsized, such as Megatron. I was wondering if you did this to preserve the size scale of the series. What I mean is Scorponok extremely large compared to everyone else, and rather than make a massive figure, you downsize the other figures to keep everything to scale? Or was it just the way things worked out?
I genuinely don't know where this question is coming from. This discourse I don't remember existing back in 03.
Yeah.
Back in character.
Not true. Each toy is created on its own to hit a cost target. It should have been more play or parts as it goes up in price. It should have more play or parts as it goes up in price. I do not work the figure to the scale of the show or alt mode type. That would be very limiting.
If Hasbro can lose the rights to a name, is it possible that in the future the rights might once again be up for grabs? If so, does Hasbro Legal's team watch those trademarks to see when they might be available to use again?
Watch? No. But I will ask them yearly about certain names.
I wonder if that's how we got Bumblebee back. It was just some some diligent archer watch.
Maybe. That or just, oh hey, we've got big time movie money. Let's actually attack rather than just be we got Hot Shot, Bumblebee, whatever.
Well, we got preview listings for Transformers Energon. The basics are going to be $9.75 each. Deluxe is $14.50. Megas $27.75. Supers $59.25, and Ultras $37. What are these numbers?
Old USD, pre-oil nonsense.
Did USD have
everything else?
Did you guys do MSRPs at these weird quarter denominations back then?
No, I don't know what Hasbro would have been, because I know that one of the tricks with Walmart is for a long time the last digit in numbers was shorthand for, is this regular price, is this on sale price, is this near to clearance price, is this we're clearing it out price.
Oh, hey Cypher. I don't think these are Canadian listings, but
it's Joe Moore, and he's American.
Yeah.
And this is American website, so America.
Well, Canada is running roughshod on the website right now, though, with the Armada episodes.
Yeah.
Picky Peas, what was the whole issue with Bumblebee before? Was it all DC? I believe it was a mixture of DC's Bumblebee and also Bumblebee being the name of a species of creature. I might be using my names wrong, or my words wrong there, but because bumblebees are a living, existing thing in the real world, I think that also was an issue at the time. But
I mean, also, even now, Bumblebee is frequently called Autobot Bumblebee, or the Autobot appends it, because I know from many shows it's been once you say Autobot thing as the name, we own Autobot, so we can put whatever we want on the backside of it. And
Cypher's got it was it wasn't DC, it was, I remember this, yeah, it was some other toy company doing playground equipment stuff, because I remember the DC Bumblebee thing was odd, but it wasn't specifically the problem.
Archermonster there, Bumblebee's generic term,
yeah,
not an easily owned name.
Yeah, bumblebees exist in the real world, much like Jazz does.
So you can't copyright or trademark Jazz or a Bumblebee or a mailbox. But if you call them Autobot mailbox, well,
that doesn't always work. That was the big Nevermore thing I remember even at the time. It's you can't just do that. Hey, Armada episode 40, Remorse, airs on YTV today. Be warned, do not view the discussion if you do not wish to be spoiled. I don't remember what happens in episode 40. Is that with the really cool Starscream scene? I can't remember. I forgot the episode numbers.
M. Cypher, the name was being used as a registered trademark by a company called Playcore for their Buzz the Bumblebee swing as of 2003.
Playcore, you bastards!
Playcore sounds like that could also be a lot worse. What type of swing is this? Is this one of those that you got to make sure you got a
I love
solid
my
beam in your house?
Playcore swing.
Even more Armada sightings. This time it's the Max Cons, the Power Links repaints. Here's one of the bummer ones. Interview with John and Carl Hartman. Just click here. Okay.
Error 404. I'm trying. I try.
Find out the lowdown on the Hartman's feelings of this year's OTSCC 2003, their plans for BalkCon 2004, their own thoughts and opinions, some of the more popular and highly debated issues of the fan community. Learn their shoe size. Learn everything.
John's tall. Carl's tall, so it's probably a really big shoe.
Big shoe man. I vaguely remember this being a thing for a week on the forums. but unfortunately, unless Wayback can catch that, it's gonzo. I'll keep moving on, but if anyone wants to go check Wayback, that worked once for the, what was it, the CyberCon photos. Oh yeah, Nexus Maximus. I love Dildo Kong. Alright, repaints in packaging. Transformers Con, Canada's Transformers Convention, has updated with information about their next show. Their second show, I believe, if it is the 03 version. Seems like Canada's finally getting their long overdue quality con. With Dreamwave's own Pat Lee at the Metro Toronto Convention Center. Holy mo! This was TFCon, by the way, for those who don't know. This was, I think, 1 year old TFCon. I'm going to go to the next page. I'm so hype, Aaron. I think we're going to make it out of August. Fan event number 3 in Tampa, Florida. Let's see. Mega SCFs. My Clones. I forgot My Clones were from back then. Grimlock, a part of natural history? Apparently... Oh, I remember this. There was a G1 Grimlock in the Natural History Museum of London for at least a bit. With the instructions on a mural on the wall. I remember photos of this. This is from thetransformers.net. Hey, Aaron, does that work?
Let me see. Yes, the link does. It from about 10 months ago is the last thing on the front page.
Let's take a look. They have a feature
And
button
look
at the
these
top.
stolen items being offered up for sale.
They have a feature button at the top for Transformers Dark of the Moon. That's good stuff. Stolen items up for sale. Oh, that was stuff stolen from In-Demand Toys last year. Okay. This looks like it's an automated Facebook feed, so I guess they just pivoted to Facebook but kept their site up.
Could be.
They had a 2019 forum meetup in Cardiff. That's like the far-flung future from where we are now. Video footage from Transforce in 2001. What is this? It's buried on Facebook. I don't want to look at that right now, but I might check that out later. Anyway. Energon Ultra Magnus will include Street Speed Team repaint. That was when Energon Magnus had a pack-in team, but didn't always have a pack-in team, if I remember right. Because didn't he also release without the pack-in team?
No.
I never saw this toy, by the way, in person until many years later. So,
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the repainted Armada Overload. Yeah, I can't remember that.
oh,
one.
Blottrain says the team was canned.
Okay.
I assume that's related to this and not the people who run the Transformers.net. Cypher, he was gonna have the street speeds. Yeah, because I don't remember him having that when I saw him once.
That's what the news story says. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was trying to remember how that one came out.
Transformers.com is having a giveaway, and we don't know what they can win, but 5 people a day will win. Optimus Prime contest on TransformersDVD.com. For those who are here later than when we started, TransformersDVD.com is now trying to tell you how to get an educational program for your child to learn math or whatever. It's not even a redirect to anything official. Armada schedule, Figure King news, more pictures of the highly anticipated Binar Tech alternator smokescreen. Unicron will be out in Japan. Ultra Magnus in Micron Legend. Super Mode Powerlinks repaints. X Dimension C Microns. DVD Volume 6 USA editions and DVD Box 1 are coming out in Japan 21 years ago. PT saying, my hypothetical child does need to learn math. Well, you go to TransformersDVD.com, and it probably doesn't put malware on your page or onto your computer. It might put it on your page, but who cares? Landcross to be reissued. I guess this is our first inklings of the was it Kabaya that put out Landcross?
Mm-hmm.
This was like right after I bought a G1 Landcross piece on eBay for $90, and I think this made me really bummed out. Cypher, thought you'd taken pictures of the unreleased street speeds. You have not. Hey, for Friday, for hashtag May the Accountability with you. There's a potential one. Information on future Armada stuff. There's a best of week for the series. Hey, there's a new site layout. You can vote by clicking here.
Poll's dead.
Don't remember what the layout was. Hey, is it... Oh, no, Dreamwave info. Oh, here we go. Aaron, I'm going to be Dreamwave. Do you want to ask me questions about Dreamwave?
Okay, I'm trying to figure out... yeah. Dreamwave, on what projects have been successful?
Dreamwave's most popular projects are, not surprisingly, Transformers-related, and one of the most popular books in the moment are the Transformers profile books. They plan to finish up the G1 characters, and then also do Armada, Beast Wars, and Beast Machines.
And then Dreamwave on the new War Within series.
Transformers The War Within will continue with Simon Furman and Andrew Wildman, who worked together on the old Marvel Transformers series. And in addition to the familiar characters, we'll also have new characters and a redevelopment of existing characters and concepts. It will have a G1 flavor, and will detail a big historical event, what happened before Optimus Prime, and the more familiar Transformers. Grimlock will return and be an important character.
About the upcoming G1 ongoing series.
There will be another G1 ongoing series coming out in January. Pat Lee hinted it'll have some of the Japanese-only character fans. It'll have some of the Japanese-only characters fans have only been able to watch so far in anime dubs.
Yeah, Cigar got in your way there a little bit, didn't it? Another Transformers project.
You like anime dubs, kid? There's also another Transformers property in the works, but Pat Lee could not say anything about it.
About possible involvement in the live-action movie.
Pat Lee says it's possible that we might work with them from a design perspective, as I'm friends with producer Tom DeSanto. But Pat Lee also stated Dreamwave has a good relationship with Hasbro.
About a Beast Wars miniseries.
They said there have been a lot of requests for a Beast Wars series, so there should be a mini-series next year. They advise that people check their website for future information. Brad Mick will develop the story, but may not write it, and they haven't decided if the character designs will be based on the toys or the television show.
And finally...
Speaking of requests, Dreamwave says we're interested in fan feedback and suggests people let us know what they want to see from Dreamwave. Mentioned the readers and retailers have clamored for reprints of the profile books, and there may have been some possibly in trades, and we'll look into hardcover reprints of other Transformers comics if there's a demand. Finally, they said there must be interest and requests if we're to return to the Echo series, as I haven't seen much interest so far. What's the Echo series?
I don't know.
Is that something original they were doing?
I don't know. Dreamwave Echo series. Use Google. I think that may have been like one of their original series.
They had an original series?
Yeah, original series.
I'm actually
Echo.
I'm not doing a bit.
Original series. According to Wikipedia, they had Arcanum 1 through 5, Dark Minds 1 through 4, Echo doesn't even get a numbering, Fate of the Blade 1 to 5, Limbo City 1 to 2, Necro War 1 to 3, Sandscape 1 to 4, Shadima 1 to 7. Like, they couldn't get past 8.
Never heard of a single one of these.
Yeah, Neon Cyber set in the same world as Dark Minds, Warlands, Age of Ice, Warlands Dark Tide Rising.
Oh, there's a Warlands sequel?
The series so good after the second book, they had to give it a different post-colon subline name.
Well, I'll remind you all what Dreamwave just said.
Dreamwave's most popular projects are, not surprisingly, Transformers-related.
How much longer until we get to Dreamwave imploding? 2 years. In 2003, they had just launched their new website and promised to interact with people more, so lots of Dreamwave
Well,
to come.
well, so I'm going to say actually it's 2 years. It gets on to 2005, but on January 4th, 2005, is when they went out of business.
Yeah.
So just barely into 2005.
About let's say like one news year.
Yeah.
And then we won't hear the details, I think, for another year or two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they just like disapparated.
Yeah, and then a lot of artists who were hoping to still get paid were like, well, I won't say anything until you pay me, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like a paycheck. Maybe if you sell one of those Lamborghinis.
Maybe if I don't say anything, you won't hate me, and then you'll pay me, so... Wait a second, Dreamwave was related to Image, if I remember correctly, or at least in some way that Pat Lee had worked for Image previously. Yeah, it was like... I don't remember the details now. It was like some like weird, like, Pat Lee knows Image people. I don't think Dreamwave was like literally Image. Anyway, the sitemap is updated. And more GoBots are out. Tigertron and Copbot are both out. Along with version 3 of Beastbot and version 2 of Reptron. For those who collected those back in the day. We got new Armada video game images on IGN. Hey, maybe those are still here. Mediaviewer.ign.com server, not... The entire Mediaviewer.ign.com server is gone. So, no, we won't get to see those.
I'm sure IGN doesn't do anything with media.
Yeah, no, they're a good old-fashioned writers website. I think there's more Orsons up there. Yeah, Cypher, like, he was a Rob Liefeld understudy, for sure. And I think Image was like the image of a company he was trying to project with Dreamwave, like very, we're here for the artists, etc., etc. By the way, new bios on Transformers.com. Aaron Archer came through with the Air Military Minicons, Emergency Minicons, Sea Minicons, and Space Minicons, along with a new gallery from Hook of the world's smallest Transformers. What is this? Devil's... Oh! Speaking of implosions! Devil's Due leaves Image Comics, and I lose my favorite G.I. Joe comic series at the time. I liked that series. I don't remember anything that happened anymore. But I remember bits of it I liked quite a bit. And I liked their versus Transformers book, I remember. I don't remember if they were the ones who did the Cobra Law BET Transformer, I think. Anyway, the Devil's Due is leaving Image Comics at the end of the year. None of this is related to Transformers, but they're talking a lot. Blaylock is talking a whole lot. Josh Blaylock of Devil's Due. Since this is not, like, literally Transformers, I am not going to read all of this out loud. But, for those of you who are comic book historians, it was August 25th, my birthday in 2003, when Devil's Due left Image Comics. Yeah, Cypher, the one with time travel and Cobra Law. I love those ones. Let's see. Energon comic book and collector's card included. Apparently the packaging mentions a comic book and collector's card on the Energon stuff. It's Orson time. All right, Aaron, it's your turn to be Orson. Are you ready?
Wee. Yep.
This is Orson. This is an Orson post on my birthday. So, this better be a good one. Hey, Orson. When you said Energon Megatron should be Galvatron, a lot of people took this to mean, from a plot standpoint, he should still be Galvatron. But I don't think you were referring strictly to the plot. So when you said Enermegs should be Galvatron, is it for a more fundamental reason, such as him looking like Galvatron?
At the end of Armada, he is Galvatron, but at the start of Energon, he is Megatron again. I, personally, would have preferred a continuation of the Galvatron name and then upgrade to Super Galvatron of Galvatron Imperius. But that is not how we were going to do it. That is what I was talking about.
Oh, Galvatron Imperius would have been a sick name.
Yeah.
Why did that get lost to time? Imperius
Because then, like, where do you go for after that? What's Cybertron then?
That's just Batman Megatron, is what you call it.
Yeah.
Hey, oh! In Armada, almost all of the toys got a redeco, even if some of them ended up bumped to Energon. Should we expect to see this trend continue with any future lines, or was that specific to Armada? I'm referring to Energon and its successors, not TF Universe or alternators.
Yeah, probably.
Hey, Aaron Archer, question number 1. Is the next series going to be planned to span a longer time frame, something akin to G1 or Beast Wars, or are we going to get another brief reboot, similar to Robots in Disguise and Armada?
Nothing will last more than 18 months, but with Energon, we have said it is 10 years after Armada. This lets us create a new story but continue the larger arc. In essence, reinvent the show, but not from the ground up.
Question number 2, you stated at one point that the overwhelming, I quote, the overwhelming majority of Transformers products are bought for children 6 to 10, 80% plus, end quote. I was just wondering how this number was determined, since no one at retail asks you for whom you are buying the Transformer from.
Research. None.
I think whoever wrote this kind of like fell down on the floor while they were typing that, but I think they were meant to say that like you don't get like asked when you buy a Transformer who it's for. But that really I really felt like someone was trying really hard. Like they were fine, and then suddenly it was like, oh no, wait, I gotta leave. All right, hang on, I have to scroll down. Hey, Orson, just a quick 10-part question. Sorry, just a quick 12-part question. Specific Energon Optimus Prime questions. Number 1, does he have a trailer? If so, what does it do?
Yes, it holds all his small vehicles. Limbs.
Number 2, how tall is his regular robot mode? How tall is his combined super mode?
About 9 inches.
Number 3, does he combine with anyone of significant importance, like Overload and Jetfire in Armada?
No plans yet.
Number 4, does he have a huge gun like Armada Prime?
Mid-sized.
Number 5, any handheld melee weapons like G1 Prime's Baymax?
No. Get the Omnicons for those.
Number 6, does he have a Matrix? If so, is it removable? Can it be handheld by any of the Transformers toys?
Gulped it in. New design.
MF, you asked 3 questions as question number 6. We're on to, hang on. Number 1 was 2 questions. Number 2 was 2 questions. So we're actually on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're on we already asked 10 questions. Anyway, question number 7. Will we see him in Toy Fair number 75?
Don't know.
Number 8. Is he a different Prime or really an older Armada Prime, character-wise, not design-wise?
Armada Prime rescanned.
9. Is Articulation in Super Mode better than his smaller mode or worse?
Same articulation. Pretty good.
Number 10. In Combined Super Mode, is he the taller than Rid Omega Prime?
Without the Rid armor, yes.
Number 11. How many weapons does he have?
1.
Question number 12. When is the earliest available date he will be available in stores? The answer was 3 question marks.
Yeah, I did the not come through?
No,
Or
it
did
did
that
not.
get gated?
It got gated.
Yeah.
Just dead silence. Just staring back.
I could also see that as the response. Just
Anyway, after that 12, 13, 14, 15,
27.
16 part question. Question for you, Aaron Archer. I recently got my hands on the OTFCC Sideswipe and Sunstreaker. Now, I know you probably had nothing to do with it, but the packaging, well, not the flimsy window, just made me go, wow! It's modern and stylish, yet classic like the G1 boxes. Have you any intention of packing some of the Universe or any other line figures in similar boxes? Or should we just expect the packaging already shown to be the standard for the foreseeable future?
no.
Hey Orson, the Red Thrust is being released overseas under the label USA Edition. So does that mean you found a place for him in Universe? I definitely want the toy, but an import is going to be far more expensive. So I wanted to check in with you first to see if I should save my money. I really appreciate it. Thanks.
Don't import it. We're looking into it.
All right. Let me scroll this down. My scroll wheel sucks, so it either goes hard or it doesn't go at all. Okay. Orson, 4-part question for you. Is RC the only female we'll be seeing in Energon?
I like that Ferengi read of female. Yes, the only one.
Has your team done any work on trying to resolve the issue with splitting rubber tires on the RID cars, since you'll be re-releasing them for Universe? Additionally, will you be making sure this won't happen with 20th Eniv Prime?
I didn't know it was an issue. We did not receive returns, so I never knew about that issue.
Number 3, any way you could gently remind your webmasters to post the tech specs on their next update? Have you done specs for non-show characters in Universe? If somehow the specs aren't up by the time Armada has passed, would you look into some alternate means of publishing them? Dreamwave, maybe?
Fan club and or other printed books. We have not done the non-Armada characters, beasts, and recolors. I am working on the speed thing, too.
And number 4, just for fun, do you have a favorite Orson Welles movie?
Lady Femme Shanghai.
If you want full Ferengi, by the way, it would be... Is RC the only female we'll be seeing in Energon? You got to get the fake teeth in there, right? Otherwise, you're not properly free. You got to make it sound like you have a mouthful of denture to get that real Ferengi off.
Of a very pointy Audi denture. I just restarted my Deep Space Nine rewatch.
Hell yeah!
So it's the Armin Shimmerman reclaiming Ferengi from being the weird like that they were in that first episode of Next Generation. That went like, and these guys can travel in the galaxy and not just crap themselves to death. What?
And yet, a majority of the Ferengi he ever encounters are kind of like those.
Yeah,
with a few notable exceptions. All right, and then finally, Orson shares some insight into his collection. Hey Orson, do you have your very own Transformers collection, and what does it consist of? Do you just own the toys that you've designed? Do you have any G1 figures? Also, did you like Transformers toys before you started working on them, and what was your opinion of them before that stage as well? Also, what Transformer continuity do you like the most? Armada, G1, G2, RID, Beast Wars, Beast Machines? And one more, if you could go to any way you wanted to, disregarding all rules and regulations put on by Hasbro and law with the Transformers, which way would you personally go story and toy-wise?
I just love the idea of any way you wanted to go. I would make Megatron, but a real 50 cal Desert Eagle.
Capital
shoot these MFers and then No, officer, it's a robot toy, and then the robot toy shoots him. Okay.
Capital L Law after capital H Hasbro. You know, that other company, Law.
Yeah. I have a lot in my office. I have a few loose Armada guys at home, but mostly I have all the Takara reissues and reissue exclusives, G1 and Armada. My new fave is I bought a G1 Scorponok in box. The only part missing is his silver towers, but he looks good with my jumbo collection anyway.
The way he capitalized jumbo makes me wonder if he meant like jumbo machineders, because I think Scorponok would actually look pretty sick with some jumbo machineders.
Yeah.
Also, Credo Prime with the Law TM.
Yeah.
We're a law company. We invent law as a product that we sell constantly. Future Armada Supercon with Minicon exclusive. It's Supercon Blur with a Destructicon Minicon member. Aaron, that is not variant, right? Because that's just a toy bolted on a existing toy.
I believe so. Well,
because this is in the era when they were starting to like add that tube
with the extra Minicon pack.
Yeah. So that was still like a Supercon in another box, right?
Yeah, I think that's because there were some of them that was like another blister that was like shrink wrapped on.
Hey, Archermonster says, heck yeah, I meant Jumbo Machiners. Hell yeah. All right. When I see capital J Jumbo, I get the feeling. The Orange Man, we make law only so Megatron cannot be a gun again. Quote from John Law, CEO of Law. I will say, by the way, on these Orson's World updates, I am of extremely divided two minds about the fact that nobody's attributed for asking the questions. Because A, it would be cool historically to know like some of the usernames asking these, but also B, it would probably be horrifically cruel 21 years later to drag out people who actually asked some of the questions and go like, what were you doing, man? What were you... Got new instructions up on Transformers.com thanks to Lord Takara. You have to... Hey, Aaron, please note, you have to have Adobe Acrobat installed to view these PDF files.
Yeah. What? Oh, those are the new things, right? PDFs?
Yeah. When did...
Wait, when did PDFs come about?
Yeah, I was about to say, is that new in 03?
PDF.
Make sure you have Adobe Acrobat.
Wiki books? No, I want Wikipedia. I want to say, when did PDFs come about?
While you're looking that up, got an update here from Ken from Palisades. Hey, Ken from Palisades here. As you may or may not know, a great guy named George Tremarco is doing a bunch of 3D modeling for us on the Transformers line. Not only is he doing the modeling that a sculptor uses for reference on the sculpt itself, but he's also tackling the models and making some way cool packaging art for us. Check out this first look at one of the images George has cooked up for the Optimus Prime packaging. It's still an unapproved image, but we thought you would dig an early look. See you tomorrow, Ken. I don't remember who Ken from Palisades is.
Yeah. 1993 for the creation of PDFs.
What? Okay. Really? Wow.
And that's the initial release. The format was developed by Adobe in 92. Based on the PostScript language, each PDF file encapsulated a complete description of a fixed layout flat document.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Edge still tries to come in and say, "Hey, I'm a Microsoft product. You want me to be the thing to open this? Okay, you don't. I'm sorry."
Because this is the thing. Maybe it is easy to look up, but like the thing I always wonder with stuff like this is like, okay, so it existed like since 92, 93. When was the consumer breakthrough moment when PDF just became a thing that you have?
That's true too. Like how much of this was like what businesses did.
Yeah.
Like. Versus, yeah,
because it's not like they launched PDFs in '93. It's like, all right, everyone's got PDFs now. Because I remember still in the aughts having like, oh damn it, I got to get the stupid Acrobat thing now. Like having moments like that. Cypher saying, Palisades, you'll never get the smell of your toys out of the carpet. I don't think Motu's Stinkor had as strong a smell as any given '90s Palisades toy. I vaguely recall this. I sort of, some of my Palisades, like from the comic book shop toys, I remember having some McFarlane toys too had very funny stinks on them. Not just like paint.
Mold release crossed with just like cigarette from the factory or something.
Yeah. Also, Adam Bilmu suggesting Adobe Reader downloads that were piggybacked on Adobe Flash Player downloads. I vaguely recall this too.
Yeah. Yeah, because you'd always get like, I want the PDF reader, but you got to package everything together. You'd get that, and it'd have to be like some web browser plugin that you'd also end up with the Google or eBay toolbar and
Alan Weaver
Navigator.
Alan Weaver with the soda figures smelled too. Yes, they did. Apparently the soda bootlegs smell even worse. I did not know that. I can't comprehend what that would mean. Acan Lord, I remember them smelling like surgical equipment. Yeah, that like latex smell. Hey, by the way, IGN.com posts a glowing preview of Transformers Armada for the PS2. Atari's newfangled Transformers game looks to genuinely beat the bad licensed game rap. From the early build we witnessed at Atari's latest Gamers Day, Melbourne House is sticking close to the Armada series. Shows great technology, high frame rates, and a game that is already fun to play 8 months before it ships. All very, very good signs. It's running at a crisp 60 frames per second, and in the 2 levels we saw, a jungle and a snowy terrain, the level of reflections, chroming, metallic texturing, and radiosity are all working on high, and together they create a beautiful environment filled with movement, life, and excellent effects. The models look good in each in their own way. The Autobots appear hulking, efficiently modeled, and nearly perfect in their replication of the new show. It's clean and cool looking, to say the least. After seeing all the PS2 games at Atari's Gamer Day in Mexico, I have to admit, the most technologically advanced game of the bunch, the one with the most potential, is Transformers Armada, the Battle for Energon. It's already well crafted, built on powerful technology, and looks a whole lot of fun whether or not you're interested in Transformers. The fact is, looks like a hell of a game, licensed or no. And yet, because neither game was out, most people were still just looking forward to the G1 game.
That full article is still on IGN.
Let's go take a look. ps2.ign.com forwarding along.
With a photo.
Updated 2012? That must have just been them moving the article.
A couple of photos.
Oh, these photos are so small I can't even click on them. Little history on the minicons. Both the Autobots and Decepticons tried to use them during the Great War millions of years ago. I love it when, like, outsiders were trying to process what Armada was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember this at all, knowing that there was a big, glowing preview 8 months ahead of a release for that game. The fact is, it looks like a hell of a game, licensed or no, which puts this jaded journalist at ease, at least for the moment. And for the record, that's before I drank all those tequila shots. Friggin' 2003
Yeah.
hobbyist journalism writing.
I'm in Mexico. Must be tequila.
This jaded journalist is put at ease. But yeah, that's wild. Because I remember when it came out, it was almost like this big surprise of hot damn, this game's good. I did not know there was this 8-month ahead preview. I'm blanking on this memory completely. That's really cool. What happened? I clicked on our voice call.
Okay.
Previous
I think I'm
page.
still here.
Yep. I think I just clicked on the chat window. More Orson's World incoming. Micron's Legend, Volume 5, but who cares? Orson's World, bright and early. I'll be Orson this time. Aaron, you go ahead.
Okay, the bolds are the questions this time. All right.
Oh.
Kickback's got a different methodology than everyone else.
Sometimes
We
I
need to-
wonder
we
if
need
he
to-
ever sleeps. I mean, seriously.
Need to tell Chris to get with the program of the site style guide.
Chris, formatting.
Come on. I thought you were a professional, son.
What are not days on that last article? I drink. That makes me relatable.
All right. Wonder if he ever sleeps, but I mean, seriously. But anyhow, you know the rules. Simply click read more. Thankfully, we don't have to because we can't. A long version short, open quote. I've seen versions of Powerling's Hotshot where his forehead is an unpainted red color and then also a gray painted color. Which one is it?
The forehead should not be painted. I had an early sample at OTFCC. I am not sure if that version made it into stores. I have informed the vendor to not paint the forehead. I have no idea why the logo is a solid color. Oversight.
When you're designing toys, how much does fan input mean to you? For example, the 20th anniversary figure. If the poll was on the internet had shown overwhelming support for a Galvatron figure instead of a Prime figure, what would the odds have been that it would have been a Galvatron figure and not a Prime?
It was probably always going to be Optimus Prime in that case, but for other items I do get a feel from the fans as to what is praised or lambasted. I use that as a rough guide when I want to sprinkle nods to old characters into a new product. Not very often do I use a direct idea from a fan, mostly because Very few people know all the things I deal with and what goes into the reasons for the toys.
Things he deals with, like Bob from accounting. That mother...
The other day, some
Update.
guy came up to me and said, "Do we still need the name Megatron for Transformers?" I skinned him.
Update. I've noticed through pictures at OFTCC.
Everyone was getting that wrong.
I can't even outfug on that one. Specifically Skyblast, that it looks like the faction symbols are being filled in like they were in the first waves of Armada. Will toys, possessive, and Energon have outline faction symbols like Armada Skywarp? Or will they be filled in like Hot Shots, possessive?
What? They will be outlined. Those were early samples I brought to the convention.
In short, the question was, Armada Megatron ownership's head doesn't resemble past Megatron figures in the head. Why?
The Armada Meg's head has a closer tie to Rid than G1.
I like two of these where Chris just went long version short, where he demonstrably truncated a very long question. Hey, quick question. I've been a fan of Transformers and things you've done since 1984, and boy, do I love Megatron. Why I remember when I got my first Megatron, 3 paragraphs later, but can't help but notice Armada Megatron's head lacks that iconic bucket, the forehead eyebrows. Why, it makes me think about 2 paragraphs about tanks and teeth and Batman. Why? You know, like, that's what I'm imagining these questions actually were before.
That's when I also loved then the, like, ask 4 questions with, like, non-definitive binary yes-no answers, and then Orson would answer, yes. And you just be like, okay?
I also just...
Maybe train them to ask basic questions, not
I'm still not over...
philosophical.
I'm still not over the 12 numbered questions, 3 of which contained multiple other questions within.
Yes.
Hey, Armada cartoon schedule's changing. Heads up. There will be no best of marathon. This is all... I said this before. Because I was in Canada. I didn't have Cartoon Network. These news stories were so confusing to me, just trying to parse them, because I was an eager young fan, going like, I better try to get into what these things are talking about. I'm just like, what are you all talking about? I don't understand any of this. But hey, at Target, there's going to be an Armada and Universe Deluxe sale at $7.89 for Powerlinks Hotshot and Universe Snarl. Transformers.com updates. Oh, wait, my OBS studio just had to disconnect. Wake up.
What?
What's going on? Reconnection successful.
Huzzah!
I'm going to check the live stream readout. I am going to assume that you all saw a big skip there, because OBS just had a flip out at me. So I will continue on. We've got some fresh news. Where'd my windows go? We're good. Thank you, Dynamo Dave. New Binar Tech Dodge Viper pictures from HobbyLink Japan. I have not seen them as a news source in such a long time. I wonder at what point we saw it was supposed to be Binar Tech and stopped saying Binar Tech.
Probably when we saw packaging.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was in English on the packaging. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Is Micron Legend Megatron Super Mode a little more purple? Thanks, Tim Formas. Like, at this point, we know that all the toys are colored slightly differently in Japan, but it's a slightly darker shade of purple. Powerlinks Jetfire, available on Toys R Us Online. We're almost through August, holy moly. In packaging photos, Armada Powerlinks and Cheetor figures, Hard Hero update. HLJ having the new Micron Legend toys. Orson's World update! It's my turn to be the people. So, Orson's World has been updated again today for all the goodies, including clarification on Energon Magnus with a Minicon team repaint. Hey, Big O! I was just wondering if we will be seeing Grimlock return anytime soon. He is After all, a fan favorite, right up there with Prime, Megs, and Starscream. I have to move this window over slightly so I can see myself again. He would not need to be a dinosaur. Maybe he could be a tank or some kind of monster truck. As long as he looks something like his G1 counterpart and not the dorky Rid build team member. I ask this because I am a long-time Grimlock fan, yet have never owned the guy. So I'm simply asking...
Fake fan.
I'm simply asking, will we see him again soon? Perhaps in Energon? I know you can't reveal too much, but a simple yes or no will... I know you can't reveal too much. Just tell me yes or no. Thank you in advance.
See, at least here the guy's asking for a binary question, and yet Orson answers, wait till OTFCC.
You know what's really sad?
I didn't oat fuck in Aaron's name.
Oh, hey, Archermonster, welcome back. The sad part here is I think that this was a build towards Energon, Grimlock, and Swoop, if the timeline aligns correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So, sorry to the question asker.
But not that Energon Grimlock.
Yeah, no, y'all know. Next question. Were you involved with Car Robots or Rid when it was brought over, or were you focusing on the Armada line?
I was doing both at the same time.
What? How?
You ever do the like rub your belly, pat your head thing?
I am doing it right now. You can see me doing it. Invincible mind. Hey there, Orson. Will Megatron ever have a classic-styled head sculpt?
Yes, Megs might go back to a classic head sculpt.
Oh no. Do you want this? Do you want to do this one, Aaron, or should I do this one? Are you here?
Yeah.
You ready? Okay. Orson also stopped by and gave us this bit of news.
I want everyone to know that the Minicon team that comes with Ultra Magnus is now a recolor of the space team. The Street Speed team shown at OTFCC will not be made. Oh, and these are not going to be available for long. Don't ask. I won't tell.
I want everyone to know! Friggin' posted, just spam posting that in every single forum. So again, for those who weren't here, we have heard from Archermonster himself. The all caps was not meant to be screaming, it was meant for emphasis. However, I think it is much more funny when it is screaming, so we are editorializing a little bit. This is our dramatization. This is how we're making this into fact-based fiction. I just think it's very funny. We got box pics of BTO1 smokescreen, the Takara version of Alternator smokescreen. Just call it Binaltech then. East Japanese toy trade fair images. We don't know what was there. Models and Transformers.
Going to try the picture index. That looks like a dead page.
Models and Transformers. Sound pretty good? Well, it's been a pretty slow news day, so enjoy. Remy's posted a picture of a model. Oh, models. And I get it.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I vaguely recall this picture.
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah. So
this wasn't Kiss Players, but it's Kiss Player adjacent.
Kiss Players did not yet exist, nor did anyone even conceive of the idea. It's simply, car companies like to have women pose with cars, so they were like, what if a woman poses with the car Transformer? Updated Armada viewing schedules. Clear Micron Legend Ultra Magnus and STD Convoy exclusive pictures. Oh, that's Lucky Draw stuff. Okay. The fan art section's been updated. We'll never know why or how.
Probably with art that was done by fans.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
If I had to guess.
Blatrain, this was news back then for y'all. The tone is drastically different compared to now. Yeah, like there was still a lot of news, but also everything was news. There was fan art news. There was fan fiction news. Galleries of episodes were news because we wanted clicks. So
yeah, you wanted to drive stuff inside the site because you wanted to have the whole photos of every toy and all the accessories and everything all under one roof. So if you're a Transformers fan, you'd only go to TFW 2005. You wouldn't go to one of those other sites.
We got these hot hot new wallpapers for your PC right here. In the
Maybe
wallpaper
even your
section.
Macintosh.
Maybe even your Macintosh. Wave 6 Minicons out at retail stores. The Road Wrecker team and Road Assault team. By the way, even back in 2003, I never remembered what any of the team names were. Because all these team names were so generic that, like, I only remember what the Minicons were by how they looked. I could never put their team names to their toys, even back in 03. This is all reminding me of this. G1 Season 3, Amazon Canada has the news, or the pre-order up for that. Ain't It Cool News has a review of the new issue of Dreamwatch Magazine's interview with Tom DeSanto, producer of the new live-action Transformers movie.
That link works.
Let's take a look.
The Road Wrecker team is like a drill fang, a tank, and the Bagger 213, like the big like coal seam landscape annihilator thing.
Tom
had that pop up
DeSanto
as I was search things.
gets to yapping about more than meets the eye, a.k.a. Transformers. Among other stuff he says, Tom DeSanto says, "There's no better mythology to bring to the big screen than Transformers. Transformers has got great characters and created an iconic world. The mythology still resonates with people 20 years after it was launched. Even though they're robots, the characters have a lot of personality and a lot of heart, and people still care about them. That's a great thing. The plan with the movie is that it will combine live action with CGI. I think it's going to be something that the audience has never seen before. In all the years of movie making, I don't think the image of a truck transforming into a 20-foot-tall robot has ever been captured on screen. I also want to make a film that's an homage to 1980s movies and gets back to the sense of wonder that Hollywood has lost over the years. It will have those Spielbergian moments where you have the push-in on the wide-eyed kid, and you feel like you're 10 years old even if you're 35. That's the energy I want to go for. Just like with X-Men, I want to get to the core of what makes Transformers great. We're going to get back to the heart of what Transformers is, and distill that into a movie. DeSanto says that the film will be based on Generation 1 and set on Earth, and that he's been rewatching all the cartoons and reading all the comics. Going by his contribution to X-Men, I reckon DeSanto could be the guy to pull this off, as he seems to understand that cartoon and comic fans want films that are faithful to their source. Still, the talk of making it very 1980s is a bit worrying. I just hope there's not an annoying cute kid getting in the way of some hardcore metal mashing action. Optimum grime. So remember, this is all in 2003. We have no idea what's going to happen in 4 years. We have zero idea. Also, at this point in the news cycle, Michael Bay specifically has been named as never again ever being in consideration to direct the Transformers film. Specifically, Michael Bay out of the running. For good. I don't remember any of this, because the Transformers live-action movies bulldozed the entire franchise so hard, I can't conceive of these things I'm reading. So this is really entertaining to me. I'm really glad that worked, because it would have been a bummer if this was the only thing we had to go off of. Yeah, Picky Peas, calling the Singer X-Men movies faithful is so weird after having watched X-Men 97. It was such a different time, wasn't it? It's Orson World's time. Aaron, you wanna be the people?
Yeah.
These are getting hard and fast all of a sudden.
Yeah. Yeah, it was boring news time, right?
Yeah.
Number one, you said that timing got in the way of the planned Powerlings repaint of Armada Blur, and I counted 5 other Armada figures: Unicron, Wheeljack, Sideswipe, Smokescreen, and Hoist that I have not seen or heard about planned repaints at this time. That makes 6 minicons that could be recolored and packaged as 2 new teams. Any chance of that? Personally, I would love a team with recolored versions of Dead End, Windshear, and Nightbeat.
Partner minicons cannot be separated from the larger bots due to mold share.
2. Why was the mold for Minicon Thunderclash changed so that his transformation doesn't match the instructions?
Not aware of that issue.
3. I asked before about mirror image molds for repaints, and you didn't understand my question. So I wanted to clarify. For example, Armada Starscream is asymmetrical. He has a smirk on the left side of his face, so on the right as you look at him, and only his left wing unfolds into a sword. So my question is, would it be an outrageous undertaking to reverse the molds for just those parts of the toy so that Thundercracker would sort of balance Starscream by having the smirk and wing sword on the opposite side of his body? I don't know how the molds are generated, so maybe this is a ridiculous question. But if you could work on it, then you could not only use it for repaints, but for chase figures in the original colors. And someone who wanted to spend the money could kit bash, air quotes, a Starscream with double wing swords. I know it's a little late for Starscream. Like I said, I'm just using him as an example.
That would be like starting over. We cannot change molds. We make new ones for Skywarp, for instance. So, like, the reason I was laughing is this fixation on the asymmetrical smirk and how that should be mirrored as well, as though anyone would ever notice that the smirk is tilted differently on the other version. It's just like putting that on the same level as the entire wing sword being on the other side. Like, the smirk would also be mirrored, and it's like, sure.
Number 4. You said that the first wave of Armada toys lacked the polish of later ones due to time constraints. So can you tell us what changes or improvements you would have made to the first wave Armada toys if you had the time?
Armada first and second waves. Some color, some details, smokescreen. It is tough to tell where a line will go early on, but by the time the first toys are out and I hear feedback, Wave 4 is already done. I am already on Wave 4 of Energon. I think this is the first time we actually had like a quantified timeline that we all could see, by the way.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if this was ever a thing that was talked about. I guess this is still 2003, so it may not have come up in like Hasbro panels.
No, I don't think it did. Because I'm pretty sure.
Trying to remember,
like the Wave 4 of Energon revelation was like a big thing. People were like, "What? He's already on Wave 4?"
Yeah, but I could swear that it was mentioned before. But it was probably just something that again was at one panel before all of these things were very hyper communicated.
Yeah,
and it falls differently when it's text in front of everybody. Maybe, I don't know. Was there ever a plan to replace Optimus with a new Rodimus-esque hotshot in the series instead of bringing Optimus back?
No!
I can't help noticing that the plastic piece on Hoist's digging arm with the Autobot symbol is about the right size of the gear mechanism used on Cyclonus. This, combined with the fact that Hoist came with a geared minicon, makes me wonder if his original design included such a feature. Was this the case?
He did, but it was dropped.
With the coming of Transformers cards by Fleer, could we see the tech specs and bios on the back of the cards, or will they be only on Transformers.com?
Fleer has access to all of it. I do not know what they plan to use.
We got a lot of glasses pushed up the nose comments going on in the text chat. Hey, Fleer trading card info, by the way. Look for Pat Lee signed Transformers original art cards and autographs seated every 12-count case. Pat Lee is the president of Dreamwave Productions and artist on the best-selling Transformers comic books. That's like there's something very specific and odd about that statement. The best-selling Transformers comic books.
Yeah.
The only Transformers.
5 cards per pack, 36 per box, 12 and 6 boxes per case. And then you see all the breakdowns. Man, some of those are put the weird Magic the Gathering numbers to shame.
Did anyone collect all 8 of the 1 in 18 Transformers Armada flapper cards? And yeah, sorry for pointing out, there's a big asterisk on the artist on. Definitely at this point, because we're moving into Volume 2, I believe. We're moving into the real rise of Ghost Milne.
Mm-hmm.
Armada will air permanently on Toonami. Oh, permanently? Right now, even? Huh?
Until they change their mind again.
21 years later, coming to check in on you on that one.
Oh, Archermonster. Just did a box opening on my Toy Armada channel. You cannot make a whole set from a box. What the hell?
What?
Yeah.
That sucks. Because, like, one
Hey,
thing...
you just got to buy the whole case.
That
whole case with 12 boxes.
Back in the day, like, you wouldn't get all the special inserts and parallels, but, like, the collation on old trading cards used to kind of be based around, if you buy a box, though, you'll get the regular set. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope it was fun, at least. Y'all go check that out on Toy Armada after you're done here. Ooh. Blackout delays Dreamwave Comics. We don't even know who Blackout is yet, but he stopped Dreamwave. The August 14 power blackout that hit much of northeastern North America took its toll on many businesses. As a company that relies heavily on digital art techniques, what a weird way to put that, Dreamwave is no exception. So they're late on some stuff because of a blackout. That's interesting.
I like how one day of a blackout causes significant shipping issues.
It's like, did no one else have, like, were people all working in the office, I guess?
Yeah.
Archermonster. I didn't
Everybody
get the whole
was...
set. Got all the puzzles, so yes, a lot of fun. That's good.
Yeah. Everybody was working in the office. None of them had UPS backups. And a dog ate my homework.
Aaron, do you have it in you to do one more Orson's World? I don't want to keep you too long.
Yeah. Do we want to end September 3rd as our last day here? Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah, let's do this page because everything going up is simple. So we'll Orson's World, a couple of leftovers, and then I'll bookmark there. So I'll be the people this time. This is Orson's World for 9/03/03. So we have made it, everyone. We made it out of the summer. Yes, we're into the fall of 2003. It only took us
a while.
Less than 15 hours. Orson's World has been updated once again. Hey, Orson, will Energon Prime have a faceplate like most Primes?
Faceplate with an open mouth area cut into it. In the show, in battle, it will change to a full faceplate.
When I was a fan during this, I was so insufferable about the faceplate because I was so dead-ass convinced till the toy came out that there was like a secret extra faceplate that closed over it because I thought the satellite dish ears were faceplate parts. I'm glad those posts are gone. I was insufferable. I distinctly remember this. Anyway, hey Orson. Were the Energon toys designed with the thought in mind that this line was a sequel to Armada? Are the newer versions of characters that cross over between the two inspired by the original toys? Or did the decision to make Energon a sequel line come after initial toy design and dead power link points were added to the molds, a la Armada Beasts?
Smith wants to say something there, but I won't.
No, you go for it. What do you want to say? What's the editorial first?
Well, it's always the idea of, like, this just gets dropped on somebody. But
yeah, it was... Let's put these things on here.
Yeah. It was always a sequel, but you didn't know that, but I did. The Minicon posts were added to the TFE toys to make the Minicons from Armada backwards compatible. This is an interesting question. We always plan out our goals in advance of the toys being started. I have toy, animation, comic, out-license, and internal brands to explain the segment concepts to. I present the entire line, and the details are pretty much set. I know mostly all the alt forms, features, colors, story outline before I start any individual products. These are expensive, complex toys. I do not have the ability to make a confused approach. Yeah, that was my less angry, better way of saying it than they just ran at it stumbling randomly.
Dynamo Dave found a Pat Lee signed card on eBay. It is $312.
How much for it without the signature? Is it worth more?
I'm curious about that. Because, well, I guess signed was actually the gimmick, so they weren't, like, signed after the fact. Because, like, sometimes when Magic cards get signed, it devalues them, which is screwed up beyond...
The amount of foils being cheaper than non-foils is nuts right now.
That's the foil's fault, though. That's...
Yeah.
You
don't like a deck full of Pringles?
I understand that. Yeah, it's do I like a deck full of Pringles, and do I want to spend money on cards where a TO might throw me out for using them, right?
Yeah.
Depending on whether they're patient enough to actually offer to make me some proxies. Anyway, next question. With the introduction of Scorponok into the Energon mythos, and the continuing use of Megatron, who are both Decepticon-style leaders, and the introduction of the KB exclusives of G-Axis and Bludgeon, my question is, will we see any other previous Autobot leader, either as a character or a leader, besides Optimus Prime? Like Rodimus Prime.
There will be no other Autobot leaders. Optimus Prime will be in every kid target line. You are asking me if I am willing to remove Superman from a Superman comic. No, I am not interested in that. I would like to someday do an Azrael type thing with Transformers involving Optimus, but I do not think that kind of story would work in animations. Maybe comics.
That's Azrael from Batman.
Yeah, I realized it after it came out my face, and I just kept going.
I wonder if this question was still in proximity of, do we need Megatron in this line?
Yeah.
Also, we got an Archermonster update. Pat needs to make all the money he can. Leave him alone. I don't think Pat Lee's getting anything for the signed cards on eBay. I will also add. He got paid to sign those 21 years ago. I suspect he's used that money by now. Cars ain't cheap. Final question. Number 1. Did you design Energon Prime?
Hasbro and Takara, yes.
If so, do you like him more than Armada Prime?
I love his combo form. In small form, he is a little...
What advantages does Energon have over Armada Prime?
Each toy has its advantages and disadvantages over the next. I really can't say. He is articulated better.
Lastly, do you think Energon Prime will receive a good reception from older collectors?
Not really, but I can't make all the people happy all the time. Anyone not into the Transformers, Energon, Optimus Prime can love their 20th anniversary Optimus Prime a little bit more.
I really like that also, in the context of this question, older collectors is like college kids in their early 20s.
Yeah.
and they were already getting that whole, the bullish, like the Facebook dad groups on, that now that all do the my wife jokes.
Yeah, I could maybe see some of the oldest collectors at this point maybe being at the top end of 30, if it's not the parents of the kids that were watching in 84.
It's a bunch of
so maybe some 45-year-olds as the old collectors.
Just a bunch of 21-year-olds and just all sauntering in, going like, I've been here for a while, and I got some opinions. Yeah, old-timer like me.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go through the early 30s, says M-Cypher. M-Cypher is Usenet era, so Cypher would know more about the top end in 03. So let's clean up the rest of this news page just to finish up. New War Within info from War Within 2 info, Dark Ages. Newsrama, does the article work?
Newsrama, that works. Does when you purchase links through links on our site, we may earn an affiliate. That's what I get.
I'm gonna leave that alone. Fan to Fan, RIP, Image Gallery of Micron Legend Volume 5, DVD's exclusive figure, Falsia. Good name. New previews from Dreamwave. Oh, here we go, the ending of it. The epic Worlds Collide storyline continues, spanning the generations. It's a race against time to retrieve Optimus Prime from a devastated Cybertron, one on the verge of total destruction. The dimension-traveling Overrun and a Minicon rescue team are assembled and ready, but the vessel they need to reach the besieged Autobot leader is currently in possession of none other than Megatron himself, who's just learned that Prime is missing, and Autobase is his for the taking. This was part 2 of Worlds Collide, I believe. This is the moment Vangelus gets malware. Oh wow, Archermonster. How old was Headmaster Dawn? That's your ceiling. Wow. I mean, Headmaster Dawn won. He got his Headmaster RC.
Mm-hmm.
Where was I? Built to Rule Night Attack Demolisher announced. I love Built to Rule ... announced. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
Oh no, not again. Hasbro re-trademarks Fortress Maximus. I guess they were still trying. Because this is after we got that whole lowdown on the drop test, but they still trying. Unicron in UK Toys R Us stores soon. And
The trademark. So I actually clicked on that link because it's a U.S. government link. It'll probably always survive.
doesn't go to a...
Trademark application was refused, dismissed, or invalidated by the office, and this application is no longer active. Abandoned because the applicant failed to respond or filed a late response to an office action. Whoops. Date abandoned January 15, 2005.
That's neat that in Fortress Maximus in all capitals is on this website. Wow. Yeah, you know what? Silver lining way of taking this. Glass half full. They tried for 2 more years to pass that goddamn drop test. They tried for...
Cypher's got it there with the Heroes of Cybertron.
Oh, okay, yeah, it was that. Yeah, I forgot about that. I was sculpting a mythology.
Yeah.
An inspirational mythology. You come in here with all of your facts and your things that actually happened. I forgot completely that happened. Heroes of Cybertron is a huge memory gap for me.
When was that? No. In Japan, it was 2000 to 2003.
Oh, we got it way later though, is what I remember.
Yeah, we got it later. I'm looking for 2004. No, because it was OTFCC, because that was like their 2003, the like big 6-pack where it was all...
They were all rattling around
thing.
in there.
All rattling around, dismembered.
Yeah, Cypher has got a nigh comprehensive SCF and Heroes of Cybertron collection.
Yeah, Hasbro, the version of the line started in 2002 and went out through 05 or 06. I can't quite tell from this.
It lingered, I think, for a
Yeah,
bit.
it was something that I remember, like, what was it? Like, the only place it carried it locally was Myers, which was like the off-brand Walmart.
Yeah.
And like randomly, like it was on my search run because it was between 2 things, and so I'd stop in, and then just like suddenly the wave for the year would be there, and it'd be like, holy crap, I'm buying all of these because I know the degenerates that'll buy the other half of this box from me, and then I'd come back like 2 weeks later because I think that was about what their like restock cycle was, to see if I could get more for people that would... I was selling them for what I paid for them. I wasn't being a horrible like upseller scalper.
Collectors helping collectors, hashed whatever the NECA thing was. Cypher is also reminding me, I remember this now, there was a long time between Heroes of Cybertron waves.
Yeah.
Like, long time. Yeah, there's a version of Fire Guts God Jinrai in there. There is, Overlord is in there as Gigatron. I remember that was a whole thing. Like, what are they going to call him? It was a whole thing. And And yeah, to cap this off, Singapore getting a Transformers Season 1 VCD set being released by Blue Max Entertainment. If the VCD format proves successful, they will consider a DVD release. That is wild, because even in 2003, ain't no one give a flying rats about VCDs in North America. This was super weird news to read as a North American, because I made VCDs myself of things I downloaded off of Iacon Hub, because I could then watch them on my big TV. But that was a whole like hobbyist thing I did. When I got all of Kamen Rider Ryuki raw, or with Hong Kong subtitles off of TV Nihon's original IRC chat room, I proceeded to load them all onto VCDs with custom wallpapers I frame selected, because I was so into Ryuki when it was new. And I had this like rack of Ryuki VCDs that I made myself.
Yeah, VCDs are video CDs. Like it was a compressed version, because it used to be like you had laser discs, which were like record-sized digital optical discs for video.
Yeah.
And then VCDs were CD-sized, that had better compression, I want to say, because you could still get most of a movie on one.
If you
but
had
it
to
was,
be,
but it was like super. It was like over-the-air, crushed down video quality. It wasn't.
yeah. There were a lot of
Wasn't good.
presets. I always used this rack of presets that were in like Nero for VCDs, and like it was like old VHSs, where depending on your quality, you could balloon how many hours you could fit on a VCD if it was in junk quality. And so they had their own file structure you had to follow, and because you could just make them at home, I think since their inception, they never really took off as an official thing in North America. But DVD had more storage space, and thus usually it was more close to 720. I believe VCDs capped at 480, but don't hold me to that.
Yeah,
whereas-
Wikipedia shows like VCD quality is about a quarter of DVD quality.
yeah.
Like the size window that it shows. Oh, here we go. Analog NTSC compatible is 352 by 240, so 240p.
240p, wow. Okay.
And PAL analog PAL is 288p.
And
it was at
Cypher,
2997.
Cypher has Ruby Spears Megatron or Mega Man VCDs of questionable officiality at 352 by 240. So I was overestimating VCDs being 480p. That's on me. That's me having nostalgia goggles for all my VCDs I made, which I should check if they have disc rot, because I haven't looked at them in
Well,
like
you were probably looking at it on an old CRT.
yeah.
And so like the CRTs don't do HD unless you spent a lot of money on one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Sideswipe Prime, yeah, there was a lot from, because it's not just VHS to Laserdisc to DVD. There was a lot of stuff before and in the middle that is very lost to time. I only started discovering in the last, like, decade on YouTube from, like, old tech channels. Like, all these wood-paneled things that, like, played friggin' giant cassettes of...
Laserdisc is only 2 years older than VHS.
That, too. Laserdisc has been around for a very long time. It was just always cost prohibitive.
Yeah.
But no, there were other things. Like, there was this wood-paneled thing from the 70s that had these, like, giant cartridges you had to shove in.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't like the 8-track of video, but it was like, basically, whenever a technology happens, right, it wasn't the only one most of the time. Like Blu-ray, for instance. I think that there are some among us who can still remember that there was a heavy 1 to 2 year competition between Blu-ray discs and HD DVD.
Mm-hmm.
And HD DVD lost and disappeared so fast, there are now generations growing who don't even know what it is, who have never heard of it until someone on, like, YouTube said the phrase HD DVD, and someone was like, what's that? So yeah, there's a lot of fascinating stuff out there. The older, more cartridge-oriented video formats I find so fascinating, because, like, I love cartridges just in general. So, like, the idea of getting a movie that's like this big friggin' like pizza box you shove into a wood panel device. I kind of love it.
I think those weren't those like CRV discs?
Oh, something like that. Yeah.
Because there were a couple of different, like, even of the giant platter things, there were a couple of different formats.
Yeah.
I think it's like either a CRT dude or a Technology Connections video that goes through like a chunk of those.
Emperor Novo 1 sings, "What a strange coincidence. I was just watching Technology Connections video series." Griffman, yeah, there was one that was basically a laserdisc and a giant cartridge. That's the one I'm thinking of, I think.
Yeah, CRV disc.
Yeah, the goal was like to go at
Or
laserdisc,
CEDs.
and they were going to make like a cheaper laserdisc, but then it was like cheaper ended up like having bad it was like a video I watched in the mid 2010s. Yeah. There was a period where I was a summer, I think, where I was just watching a ton of this stuff. But yeah, we'll bookmark it there. I checked the end of the stream, so I'll just do that. But our last item was Singapore getting the Season 1 VCD set. Tentatively, we might reconvene to do this next Tuesday. Tentatively. We'll see how Aaron's feeling, and we'll see how I'm feeling. But we're going to keep at it. We're going to at least beat the year 2003. I would really like to make it to 08 somehow in the long run. So I'm still up for doing that in the very long run. But Aaron, any fresh neurons opened up? Anything that kind of cracked open during this?
Man, just more memories of packaging variations and tracking that stuff, and the like I said, the like mental lines that I had to draw of like it's the same thing, but it's two things like in saran wrapped together. No, that doesn't count as a different variation. I have to have a line somewhere. The line will be drawn here and no further.
And anyone watching, any neurons open up? I mean, I know I'm going to hazard to say a majority of you have more or less stated that most of you were somewhere between infant to child to non-existent during some of this, but like I know Cypher, you were what were the, because I was very much a boardie at this point. What were all the Usenet folks doing in the early aughts? Were you all still heavy on Usenet then, or was there starting to be a transition into somewhere? Because I know Usenet still exists, but I remember that like it was still heavily trafficked long enough for me to still be checking it at some point. Okay, you were off Usenet by then. Okay. I genuinely, I know Usenet was the 90s, but then, like, in the early aughts, a lot of the Usenet names I remember from when I was an infant fan weren't on message boards necessarily right away. Stardust Magician, HD DVD opened a neuron for me. Okay, that's good. I love opening neurons! Besides my prime, I was a kid, so I was just playing Sonic Heroes and drinking chalky milk. 20 years ago makes things blurry. It's totally understandable. I was getting super active, and like I was starting my like how many years of BotCon did I go to? Up to 14. My 15 years of consecutive BotCons was on year 4 at this point, so I was really getting like tunnel vision, this is my entire life kind of nonsense. Griffman, I was seeing Little Iron. I didn't know Little Iron, but yeah, see, some usernames popping up here, like I haven't thought of them in a while. I'm still thinking about how in this era when we briefly had Vilvalo as a poster name on TFW, and to this day none of us know if it was actual Vilvalo from him. I think that's never been confirmed or denied. It's like one of the biggest TFW myths or urban legends. Griffman says he's an artist who went on to design Giant Saber. Yes, okay. Giant Saber. He PM'd me because he once sent me the Giant Saber stuff just to say like, hey, I wanted you to have and mess with these and send me some feedback.
Oh, okay.
I forgot Little Iron was the username, because I always just thought of, like, the Giant Saber designer. Oh, wow, that's... I'm connecting fresh neurons again. Picky Peeves, I was 1. My brother had not yet been conceived. That's also why I have fun doing these. It's such an interconnection of so many different memories, so many people going like, that's what the internet was like then, and it's so fun.
And it's also a thing that as much as Mr. Peeves coming in and letting us know that he's still in diapers, it makes my knees hurt even more. It's also a great memory that everybody has their own first series, which is why I like in the new releases that we're getting that is through all the different universes, because somebody out there, Armada was their first thing. Somebody out there, animated is how they found out about Transformers, and now they're finding all this other stuff. So people that just go, this is dumb, this isn't real No, it is real Transformers. Gosh darn it. And like, to somebody out there, this is the best thing that's been released because it hits their nostalgia buttons.
It's also cool that we're like looking at this 03 news, and you look at the things that are on Amazon right now for pre-order, and it's like friggin' remake of Sideburn, remake of Vector Prime, who doesn't exist yet. The new animated movie, Optimus Prime, and we're just about to have the first like theatrical film since '86 in 4 years from now. A Ninja Turtles Transformer, like it's so funny. But no, it's also like why I love these, like, I don't know, this generational interconnect stuff, because also I like younger fans getting to see glimpses of older fandom, because I really liked how someone had put it earlier that like everything was better but also worse, and it's like, yeah, it's like a bunch of stuff that you're sick of right now, maybe in modern fandom, or if you're still on Twitter, like modern Twitter Transformers fandom or something, like that stuff ain't there anymore. But other completely foreign irritating things are. And people getting the chance to talk to the literal brand manager of Transformers on the daily and asking like weird questions like, why don't you mirror all the toys that you repaint so that their left sides are the right sides, and vice versa. Robert Baldwin, I never knew I needed to worry about my lime green Lego ball joints before this. Dog, you gotta talk to Toy Guy and T-Fan 101 and all those other folks, because they gave me the rundown on the lime green ball joints. Those things are GPS. You gotta be careful with those. Picky Peeves, I had a laugh with my trans friends learning about the Slur Awards. Yeah. Not gonna say it out loud, but y'all can look them up on the Usenet server. We had no idea. Lots of like people keep pointing out, in the 90s to early aughts, lots of Transformers fan things that just didn't know, just didn't conceive because of the state of the modern culture. The just widespread ignorance where you're like, yeah, we're the we're the trans fans. Or you get a group where like, we're starting our new convention, the Trans Boys Fan Convention, because we're the Trans Boys, a group of boys who love Transformers, or something like that. Can you look it up? I'm pretty sure you can still look up Usenet, because I recently looked up the very first post on the internet about Transformers, the guy who left that scathing review of the first comic book issue. That's still available in a Usenet archive-looking thing. So I think Usenet might be dead, but I'm pretty sure the whole thing got archived. It's on Google Groups. Thank you, Wavesign. That's what it is. So that stuff can all still be found. So you can have some fun. Go looking for that stuff. Anyway, Aaron, thank you for joining me. I'll let you go before I go into my whole ending spiel here.
I'm always glad to do these.
Oh,
It makes me feel like a younger Aaron briefly, and then people say, I was 2 years old then, and then I feel like a very old Aaron.
Hell yeah. Well, you know what? Silver lining version of this. I think there's a really healthy version. This is healthier than like what most Star Wars fans get. Because like you pick out a random 21-year-old Star Wars fan, and like what's the average interaction they might have with like your average 40-year-old, 50-year-old Star Wars fan? It's some kind of fight, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think this is such a. I get so many like happy feelings doing these streams. The three times we've done them so far. But no, Aaron, thanks for joining me. I will. You're in on this. You're the co-pilot now on these, so we'll figure out when we can do the next one.
Sounds good.
But yeah, I will talk to you later, and then I'll let these folks go right afterwards. But I will end the call here. So, Aaron, have a good night.
All right, you too.
And take it easy.
Yep.
All right, I popped out of there. Stop my virtual camera, too, because I don't need to do that anymore. All right, use mugs. Now it's time for the abuse. Ha! Thank you all for watching this. I hope that, I mean, as far as I can tell from watching y'all chatting, y'all had a pretty good time. And I hope you continue having a good time. Like I said, the only hard cap on this is I'm not really going to have interest in doing this if we ever make it to like mid-2008 when the podcast and my YouTube stuff started, because at that point we were weekly at the time news post recording on a podcast, and that whole thing got broken from my brain. But I think, like, especially with 07 kind of being the twilight of this feature, should we make it there, it could be a fun journey. So one thing I am thinking of is I definitely, whenever Orson's World ends, and I can't remember what year that happened, I don't care how long it'll be, I'm gonna pull out all the Orson's World bits and I'm gonna stitch them together as a separate video, because I think that will also be the most comprehensive coverage of Orson's World that exists on the internet. Is this occasionally punch drunk in character version of it, but I want to put it up there for posterity. So I think that could be pretty fun. Also, I will say, just for what's coming up, probably gonna do an Elden Ring on Thursday, because I'm going back out west for a couple weeks at the end of the month, so I'm not sure what my streaming will be while I'm out west, so definitely not Elden Ring, so I'm gonna try to get in at least one more, if not two more Elden Rings sessions before the month is over, which means before I go out west. So that's probably coming up next, but I also got some toy opening. Depending on how things go, I might jump on tomorrow to crack open some figures. I might. So I'm not gonna hold on to it. Wait, you missed out on big news by doing this stream. What are you talking about? What happened? Now I want to go look. Huh? Hang on. Adamas Machina. Fully transformable, official, based on Kuro Karakuri Rodimus. I would like to know who's working on this. I would like to know who's working on this. I want to know who these people are and who they have, or what they have made before. That will matter a lot. This will probably be, like, unless they strip the interlink stuff out, this will probably be at least $500, unless they said what the price was. Oh, hey, we got physical Jinrai. What's he look like? What's my boy look like here? See, so all those other photos were a CG colored thing. So this already, like, looks better by virtue of being a physical piece. Saw some new Brave figures. Well, that's not on the TFW front page. Oh, there's an Adamas Machina Predaking as well? Oh, sketches. Okay. Is the Predaking going to transform as well? Because that will be hideously expensive if so. Someone's guessing $1,000. Yeah. Oh no, Cypher, here's the thing about Jinrai, right? I looked up screen caps to remind myself of this. The ankles aren't sad because Super Jinrai does not have ankles. He does not have feet. He simply has legs that end in a tilting bottom platform. Is super messed up, and he looks kind of like a cryptid. But this is anime accurate. I went and looked at a photograph from the television series. It looks super messed up in the TV show, too. I always forget that he's a friggin' Slenderman homunculus thing in the TV show. So, yeah, like, the ankles thing is so funny, because it's like, they aren't really ankles. Because his legs end at the bottom of the calf. He just doesn't have feet. He has a tilting surface. What's the Brave thing? What's his Brave thing about? I gotta look this up. Social media covered Takara Tomy Brave. I'm just gonna search for that. Oh, you posted the link. Hang on. These are the TFW links. Huh. Hang on, I'm just seeing the pictures now. Where's that link? Is it down here? Oh, there's a Twitter link. Yeah, they're doing a bunch. They're doing a bunch. Let me pull this over to the main window. Hit. That didn't work. There we go. There we go. It's x/Twitter. Toy Rise. So there's a bunch of stuff I saw. Gao Gaigars are in here, etc. But that seems pretty cool. Now, what do we know about this? What's the price point? What are they going for? Generations like King X Kaiser and Genesik. Yeah, what's the price point they're going for? Because, like, if they're going for Masterpiece price point, that's one thing. If they're going for Generations price points, I'm actually 100 times more interested. Okay, we don't know yet. Because if this is being designed to be like a $150 figure and not a $300 figure, I'm suddenly way more interested. Like, if they're just going to do non-Soul of Chogokin tailcoat riding Brave toys, I'm way more interested. Because we have the Gatai already doing high-end Brave toys. So many people already doing high-end Brave toys. Takara Tomy's, like, got the opportunity to go for, like, no, these are Commander class Brave toys, which would be friggin' perfect. Anyway, that's cool. Thanks for the heads up. Also, yeah, the missing link, Bumblebee and Cliffjumper are floating around. I mentioned this elsewhere. I forgot if it was a podcast or a stream. Handling Missing Link Optimus actually made me no longer want to buy it, and not because it's bad, but because I realized handling one for 5 minutes made me get 70% of what I would have gotten out of buying one. So it's a great way for me to save like $75 to $150. Oh, Takara's doing Bravern and Ryukendo in Toy Rise as well. Dang. So, okay, so again, if this line is like Commander class the line, oh, I'm so down for that. If it's just a competitive price to the Gatai and being up there in the like $300 range, then I'll happily watch them make them, but then I certainly can't like consider them myself. The mini-bots being real cheap. The thing is, the mini-bots, they're not a bad price, but they're also cheap enough where I'm like, again, I don't know if I would get enough out of them, because I assume they're going to transform a lot like the G1 figures and then have joints. And then, like, this is where I get super nitty-gritty about my own taste. I'm like, for that 6,000-ish yen, I could get me like a Magic Square piece that transforms not like a G1 toy, and in a weird, deranged, esoteric way based on being entirely made out of palm plastic that makes my neurons get all happy. But that's a very me thing. Toy Rise Shinkalion, they gotta be. Like, that... They gotta be. It's like, new robot toy line? Shinkalion, head peeks in the door, sniffing heavily. I smell a place for me to exist again. Is the Bravern embargo up yet? Let's leave it alone for now. But I know what you mean. I think for this, whatever this toy line is, I personally just want to see them doing these singular releases of, like, either a bunch of stuff combines onto a guy, or a little guy goes into a thing. And if that's the whole line, that could be really cool. Shinkalion just got a new show. Should have assumed. Anyway, I want to know that I gotta know what the intended price point is of this line to get any more excited. But it's pretty cool. Anyway, I'm gonna back out of here. Go back to Facecam. Huh! But yeah, possibly streaming a little bit tomorrow if something shows up. I don't know if it will. But then, hey, gonna open a bunch of kids' toys for little children. Anyway, I'm gonna turn the music on to make myself stop, so I have to go and... I gotta go make me a bacon buddy, I think. And then maybe have me a little pot pie from my freezer. Oh, wait, I gotta check something. When I do this, it's gonna turn music on separately. Yep, it's doing it. Stop that. That's from when someone else was here. Get rid of that. And then come back to here to then set this volume down to here to then do that, and now everything's cool. We did it. All right, everybody. Well, thank you all for hanging out for this youtube.com live stream. I was about to brag that I'm sub 4 hours, but I think that is by literal minutes. So that went a bit long, but hey, stay tuned for more. Stuff's always going on. I guess especially for the live streams, actually consider using the notification system, because I believe that does notify when a live stream goes up, just in case one goes up a little bit last minute. I still try to give at least an hour's notice of scheduling one, an hour beforehand at the very least. But yeah, if you enjoy these, then hang out. Also, if you enjoy these and you're a VOD watcher, please feel free to tag any moments, anything at all, with timecodes. All of that helps me make chapter markings afterwards. So, you know, it's asking you to do things. You don't have to. But if you're eager and you have fun doing that kind of stuff, then go for it. Or if you have fun making clips, you can do that here on YouTube. I forgot precisely how, but there's an interface for that. Anyway, I'll talk to you all later. Take it easy, stay safe, stay hydrated, be good, and y'all are pretty.
When do I get to be a missing link? One day at a time.
Let them come.